I am always, as always, am your host, and the tickle on the back of every goose's neck, Garrett Robinson. And with me today, another member of the Natural 20 Proof family, Luke Meeker. Lucas, what up?
What's going on, Garrett?
Good to see you.
I'm so happy to finally be here.
I know, in the sauna.
You know, yeah, I like it hot, so it's good.
I do like that we mention it every week, and it feels like we're complaining, but also like, you know, one day we'll be in a place with air conditioning, and then we'll look back on these early streams and we'll be like, oh man, boy, do you remember the garage?
Can we?
Do you remember how much that sucked?
Can we hurry up to the AC part?
Yeah,
nice.
I'd be fine with that, but everybody has to have their trial by, well, practically fire. Actually.
Yeah, pretty much at this point.
Other slightly different things on the stream today. Angus, who is going to be directing the stream of the main game as well, is here and sort of actually helping run things behind the scenes today. So say hi, Angus.
Hello.
Oh, well, they can't really hear you. Anyway, but no, that's great. We also have a new, like, cool new camera, so it's going to look a whole lot better. But if you happen to be watching there's Angus in the chat. If you happen to be watching, oh man, we need to fix the chat when we get a chance, probably on break. It's all tiny over there.
Oh,
see that?
Yeah.
It's just a little guy.
Additional window.
Yeah, let me see. I can actually do a little bit right now.
Okay.
That's okay. And then it'll just run right over my face. And I'm okay with that. But we should have a box for that, probably like right in the middle down here. All right, but we'll put that together another time. Today, if you've seen the stream title, I'm very excited. We are both independently painting dragons. Now, I'm going to pop in for the close-up so you can see. I am slightly cheating. My dragon is already in progress. I've painted some initial coloration on him. Obviously, a lot more work to go. But this is my adult red dragon that I am going to make some more progress on today. Dragons take a lot longer, so like I might not finish today. But you, Lucas, you have a mini that I have not gotten to see yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I use the word mini lightly.
Okay.
I decided to go with a green dragon. May come up for me, so I needed one.
Okay.
And, you know, if you go big,
oh,
you go big.
It's very big.
So this is an actual gargantuan green dragon. This is actually a Pathfinder dragon, but I really love it.
Oh, yeah, that is... that's a big boy or girl. I don't know how to tell gender on reptiles or lizards or whatever he would be.
Hasn't come up yet.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's so big. It's like, so here it is next to, like, much bigger than the red dragon, as you can see.
I also have a baby red dragon for scaling.
Oh, little puppy. Little guy.
That was given to me by one of my players, Crystal. So
Oh,
thank you,
man.
Crystal, for that one.
Oh, Crystal's amazing. Oh, that's so cool. Little dragon family. So there's that. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be working on today. So, without further ado, I will kick off all of this stuff, and we will kick on some tunes, once again, brought by the incredible Autumn Orange, who is just a fantastic musician. And again, if you're a fan of Critical Role, and let's be honest, you are, lots of like samples and albums that are based on Critical Role and everything like that. It's super cool. And today we're going to start with the Jester album. Here we go. Another weekly ritual.
Awesome. I love it. So I'm just not sure which green I want to go with yet.
Okay.
I'm a little torn. I kind of like this forest green, which I really like because of the color on it. But there is something that's with this kind of like toxic green looking.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're going for a green dragon, I think it needs to be a little toxic.
Absolutely.
Kind of
Have you looked for some like references online? That's usually how I go about like nailing down a color scheme.
I've looked at a couple, but I haven't gotten my mind set on one yet.
Okay.
Let me see what the internet will provide for me today. Green dragon colors. Sounds good.
When you want the donut this morning, it's a little more stale in the bag. I have to let you know.
I think those horns are actually going to be think I'm going to make those top horns red as well, but just sort of like yellow dry brush them a lot more, make them sort of like, I've been debating between that and bone.
See, you'll have to teach me how to do the dry brushing. I'm still learning.
It's the easiest thing, and it's like, it's a superpower. It's a miniature painting superpower. Because once you get it, you're like, oh my god, I'm going to dry brush just literally everything. And like, it's okay if you do that, because it kind of works on most things.
Yeah, I tried it on that Shambling Mound mini I was showing you the other day. And I like it. It looks great. I need more practice. That's all it needs is practice.
Cool. So the base on mine, on the Red Dragon, is this apple barrel, which you can pick up at most Walmarts. And like a thing like this is 50 cents, so it's a great cheap paint for bigger things where like the intricate details are not. It's a good base coat paint, is I guess the best way to put it. And flamenco red. And I will grab. Let's get a big old brush. This guy. You're not one of my busted ones, are you? Nope. Okay. So, the interesting thing when we have episodes with other cast members is that it's hard. I don't want spoilers about anybody's characters. I want to discover everything in game.
Of course.
But so, you know, when Jesse was on, we were able to talk about like the setting and like stuff about DMing and everything like that. But I guess that is what we can approach as well, because you are also a dungeon master.
Yes, I am. I've been one now for 3 years, I'd say. 2 or 3 years now. Mm-hmm. I've done some home brewing, and I'm still learning, definitely. I don't think you ever stop learning when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
And that's been a lot of fun. I took a break from home brewing and started doing Curse of Strahd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just to kind of mix it up.
Oh, that's
a
the
little
one
bit.
you're running with Crystal, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the same group as I normally do. They brought in a couple more of their friends, so I'm teaching some new kids as well.
Great.
But yeah, Curse of Strahd, it's been really fun. I've been having a great time with it. It's given me a chance to kind of write a little bit more of my homebrew stuff too.
Good. Yeah, that is one big advantage of running pre-mades, is that suddenly you have a lot more time to work on a homebrew so that the next campaign, can be even better. Yeah,
and I made the difficult decision for myself of already starting to work on the next homebrew campaign after this one ends. So that was a mistake. But it's still really fun because I'm excited for both of them entirely. So.
Well, I forgot to take this light off. I'm going to get that real quick.
That's all right.
You know what's funny is with you having done it for 3 years, you said.
I'd say it's about 3 years now.
That means that you've been doing it longer than Jesse and I, by a considerable margin. I used to DM and play when I was a teenager.
Oh,
but
really?
As an adult, I really only got into it last year.
Well, what's funny for me is I think all in all, I've been interested in D&D really since about 2015.
Yeah.
So only the last 5 years or so, I've actually been following it and interested in what's going on. Where, a lot of people, it's like, oh, I played it as a kid or as a teenager. I took a break and now I'm back into it. Where I'm fresh into it.
That's awesome.
So.
Yeah, it's that returning story is like a really common one, but because like a lot of people sort of skipped out on 4th edition or
Well, funny enough, I fell in love with D&D by watching it on streams, like a lot of people do nowadays. And the first one I played was 4th edition.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, this is nothing like what's on Twitch. Nothing like I've seen before. So I got to figure this out on the fly. Did a couple one-shots with it. It was fun. And then I went to 3.5.
Oh, so you took a step down.
Yeah.
Or back, not down.
Yeah. I mean, I liked 3.5. The problem I had with it was the floating modifiers.
Oh, so many.
And especially, as you know, I like playing clerics, and there's a lot of floating modifiers around clerics. Did you forget your +1 for bless? Did you forget this? Did you forget that? And There's a lot of math that I didn't want to do at the time.
Yeah,
Where 5th edition is like, oh, add a d4 or just you have advantage.
exactly.
Simplifies it so much more.
I really do love. I really do love also how like I feel like the whole game and the whole tabletop community just continues to evolve through games and editions of games.
Right.
When I was a kid, the idea of having little plastic rings that you put on people to mark the condition.
Yeah.
Nobody
Wasn't a
did
thing?
that. That didn't exist. So now it's like not only is bless easier to math, but you don't have to like it's a lot easier to remember you have bless because you just put a little ring on the mini, you know.
Well, and also I feel like if your cleric's paying attention, he'll just constantly, did you forget this? Did you forget this? The encounter we had a couple weeks ago on Sunday,
Oh, yeah.
I just constantly, I was on you and everybody else like, did you remember your
Don't forget you had bless.
Don't forget your lunch before you go to school. Mm-hmm. Don't forget your bless or you'll die.
What was funny about that one was Jesse hasn't actually thrown too many high armor class monsters at us.
Yeah, and I've always thought bless was really good because saving throws and to hit. So
Yeah.
cool, that's a pretty good one to go with. But especially with the life domain, I have the ability to kind of do other stuff.
Right.
And I think I got it at 5th level. I'm not 100% sure, but I have a spell for paladin in mine.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm so excited.
It just hasn't come up yet.
Yep.
I'm actually really loving this apple barrel. This arbor green. Because I've been doing...
Ooh!
I
Like
always-
testing it on the feet?
Yeah, always test
Smart.
it for me somewhere where no one's going to see it. Because it's a mistake that only you know about. So
That's like fabric cleaners, you know?
Yeah.
They're always like, take a piece of the carpet that no one's ever going to see and make sure that this isn't going to bleach your shit.
Exactly. So I'm really liking that arbor green color. Although the toxics... maybe I can do the toxic in the mouth. So it looks like he's just about to out the acid.
So what's funny is that we met through Crystal,
did.
you and me, who is not on the stream, and is always complaining that she put the two of us in touch, and then I stole you away.
Which I love that.
I
It's
know,
very
right?
funny, but what's really funny is how I got introduced into Jesse and our little D&D campaign was through a friend of me and Jesse.
Right.
I was looking for a group during quarantine, and I didn't have a lot to do at the moment. I had a lot of sitting around, like most people do now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm looking for a D&D group. Are you in the middle of one? She's like, I'm not at the moment, but I know a guy who's looking. And it just so happened to be Jesse, and we had that in common too.
That is hilarious. And that was what turned into Fool's Gold, right?
Yes, that was... I kind of miss Fool's Gold.
I know. I made a YouTube video. I'm not sure if you ever saw it, about why I can't play D&D online, and that was my first attempt in a really long time. I hadn't tried in several years because every time it's just been so bad. But Fool's Gold was the first appearance of Hellry,
Oh yeah.
and Hellry was a concept that I was working on in Fool's Gold, and I couldn't stick with the campaign because it's just really hard for me to play online. But now she lives again, and now I've really, because when I put her together for Fool's Gold, I was hesitant because I thought it wasn't going to work, and maybe I sort of doomed myself by going in with that attitude.
Yeah.
But either way, I didn't end up spending a whole lot of time on her backstory.
Right.
But now for this campaign, I'm just all up in it, and oh boy, I'm excited.
Yeah. I'll still keep most of the mystery with my character behind, but the character I have in mind for the campaign, I actually started out as a different class. Still the same race, but he used to be a bard.
Oh, okay.
So he's taking a little bit of a different walk.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's kind of nice when you have a good character that you can kind of just plug and play in different areas and just make minor differences.
Yeah. Angus,
Yep.
I'm realizing that we keep every time my hand comes into paint, it loses the mini. Do you mind switching off autofocus and just sort of setting a focus on? Thanks, dude.
Angus, director
Hey, Harry's
extraordinaire.
here. Lucas, slap Garrett and tell him to put down the dragon and get busy on those tiles. Nope. Harry, this is not that night.
There's a force field. Sorry, Harry.
Yeah.
I'll get him next time, though. Get him when he's not
I think
looking.
that should do.
Fabulous. And
Love to have you here, Harry.
got
And again, feel free to, well, let me know if you want to switch it back.
Okay, cool. Thanks, dude. So, on Monday, what Harry is referring to, Roberto came over and hung out in order to motivate me to get in here and get to work on tiles for the stream.
Okay.
And the result is all of that.
I noticed the little foam, and that's your tile kind of building.
Yep. So everything is cut. Now it needs to be textured. But literally, I have 32 3x3 tiles that half are red, half are going to be stone, and half are going to be wood. And then I have just 2 6x6 tiles for stone, 2 6x6 tiles for wood, and the same with 9x9, and then just like a whole mess of modular walls. So now it just all needs to be textured and put together.
That's awesome. Man.
It was a lot of fun.
You know, it's funny because, like,
I always love how a DM's not only like their abilities to run the game, but like their props they have get better and better over time. Because I didn't even have minis when I first started. I had little pogs, if you know
Yeah.
what a pog is. You're old like me. That with like little characters on it.
Right.
And it was from 4th edition, from a Monster Vault. And I
Hell
would
yeah.
just use that all the time.
Hell yeah.
And then I just started getting minis, and then I was using zombies from a Zombicide game I have. You just kind of use what you have.
And I love how different DMs focus on different things, you know?
Yeah.
Like I really like crafting terrain, and it's like a very relaxing thing. I actually way prefer the building to the painting, to be honest. Like I like sitting down and painting like this.
Yeah.
But just sitting and working on the Proxon for like 4 hours is like, oh, I get so zen.
I can definitely understand that. I thought about getting into building mini terrain. I think I would want to watch more like tutorial videos on how to do it appropriately.
Well, I've talked about him before, but there's a guy on YouTube called Black Magic Craft. He's just top of the line, absolute best tutorials. He literally taught me everything I knew, and then I took some of those ideas and I expanded on them because, you know, just like different DMs have different things they like to focus on, different crafters like to do things certain ways. Like, he doesn't think you should magnetize your tiles, but I love magnetizing my tiles. But I understood why he didn't, and so I figured out a way to do it that mitigates some of the problems that it can create. And, you know, so like my tiles are based on his, and anybody who's familiar with his tiles like recognizes mine instantly. But then they're customized for me to do the thing that I want them to do specifically. And like that's just the cool thing about crafting and all this stuff.
I'll have to. So do you buy the magnets like individually, or and just kind of attach them on there?
See, grab those two little dealy bobs, the plastic containers.
Please don't open. Please don't open.
So it's a 2-part system, and on the right side you've got nails, which are just basic little, nails with a round head about that size.
Okay.
And then on the other side,
Is
you've
the
got
actual magnet.
rows and rows and rows of these little guys that you pop off one at a time.
Right.
Let's see that on the thing. Here we go. And you stick them in the tiles. And the tiles and the walls all follow the same rule, where it's always magnet on the left, nail on the right. And so then they just pop together like that, and they hold together pretty well. and you do the same thing with the walls along the base, and then those pop on like that, and boom, you got tiles. And you can make them. They're totally modular, so you can design them however you want. And then you have walls that like form corners and stuff like that. And then with the new line of tiles that I'm making for the stream, Nolan actually suggested reducing the walls height by half, so that way you know where the walls are and you can think with it, but you don't have trouble seeing the battlefield when you're sitting at the table.
Kind of like what he did with those trees.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He calls it 2.5 dimensions, you know?
Yeah, and I love those trees that he made.
Totally.
So they made the experience a lot better on that one, I'll say.
Yeah.
Didn't make it any easier, the combat, though.
No, we almost got our asses handed to us.
Yeah, I was running low on spells, and when you're a life domain cleric and you're running low on spells, you're becoming more and more useless.
I mean, Peldon would have been fine, but she would have really hated leaving everyone behind.
Well, there was that point where I was down and I was just getting back up, and I was talking to Angus actually, and I was like, just get out of there. Like, if you have to, leave Kane. Like,
Right.
save more people, not just one person.
Eldon was totally ready to just throw you over his shoulder and start running.
Oh, and I believe he could do it. Just dream I'm a drumstick or something, and he'll get me out of there. That's why I'm also really looking forward to keep doing this campaign, because Hero's Feast will be Eldunk's favorite spell. Just 1 hour, as much as you can eat. Go, buddy.
Aw, yeah.
So I don't think there's a limit on how much food comes out.
There is not.
Yeah.
It's like the aboleth, but better.
Harry really wants to see me get slapped, apparently. So, Harry, if you do the online work and get us 100 Twitch follows, I will let the Crafternoon guest slap me on stream.
Harry, let's do this. I'll start warming up my arm.
You weren't supposed to be that excited.
I mean, you know, it's been a while since I've smacked somebody.
It's been a while.
Since I went and hit your face.
Hit your fucking face.
Oh, you gotta be careful. We'll get demonetized. That was too accurate. Too close. Well, I'm liking the green more and more as I go with it, actually.
Oh, that's looking really good.
Yeah. I'm really liking it. Maybe I can go the lighter green on the wings because they're more transparent.
Nice.
Do you have a decent, like, white paint?
Oh, yeah.
Mine kind of turned into, like, a gel.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
doesn't spread. So, if anybody knows how to fix that, that'd be great information to have.
Well, getting a little water mix in is always a good idea. Like, so this red paint is a little thicker than I normally like to work with. Mm-hmm. So you literally just toss some water in there, and if it starts to dry up again, you just toss a little more in, and then you get much better coverage because you don't want to be painting thick layers in general.
Right.
This is the least fun part of this model so far.
Oh wow, you're doing like the bone structure.
Yeah, the wing spines. But I think this is the last red that I have to paint, and then we get into the fun shit that makes really big, really fucking cool looking changes very quickly.
I just want to get the green down and start getting that green dragon feel going.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I can go then work on the mouth with a more toxic feel. Hopefully everybody's having a great Tuesday.
Yeah, I had a bummer this morning.
Uh-oh.
You know that rental camera that I was getting?
Oh yeah.
The company messed up the shipping, and I am not getting it until the 24th.
And it's the 4th. Oh wow. So
Yeah.
that's a. Ooh, where'd they send it?
Well, they sent it. They packed it. They packed it. And the way that it works is because they're shipping you a rental, they also ship you a return label.
Oh, yeah?
And you put the return label on to send it back to them on the date that you're supposed to send it back. Mm-hmm. And, well, when they sent it, quote unquote, to me, they accidentally put on the return label.
Oh, no.
So they shipped it to themselves. And then their system didn't detect that had happened. And so it's a brand new Canon camera. It's the latest model that just came out. And so it is in such high demand that as soon as it came back in, they were like,
Oh.
oh, hey, we have an R5. Let's go ship another order.
Sweet, let's go make more money. Oh, bugger.
So they were very apologetic, and they gave me like a $75 store credit for future rentals, which I was like, yeah, guys, don't even, like, it's not like I had some big film shoot coming up or something that I was planning it on. I just wanted to play with a new toy, so.
Yeah, that's always a shame, but at least you got the credit, and then you'll still get it here shortly.
Exactly.
Ish.
And it's probably good, because I know that once I have it in my hand, I'm gonna want to just, like, you know, swipe a credit card and buy one for myself.
Oh, yeah.
So giving myself a little bit more time to put more money together is not a bad thing.
No, not a bad thing at all.
But I am impatient.
Oh, there's no helping that. I'm the same way. It's like, oh, I could have this now or now, so let's just go with now. That's not an option.
Exactly.
Got to paint around his caboose.
Paint in the butt.
Right in the butt.
Right in the butt. You're going all Zedon over there.
Oh, yeah. Shove it right up the butt. Except I think on a dragon it would be a cloaca, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or is that the butt, or is that the other side?
That's the butthole.
That's the butthole. There you go.
Well, at least on lizards and reptiles of the sort. I'm pretty sure.
Curious. Thoughts on this color?
Oh, my.
I can't see it so much.
Here.
Bring it over. Get it. Let's get it in the close-up. Yeah.
Here. Look at this.
Oh right.
Angus is killing it.
This is an alternate. L-Dunk mini, and this is the focus, right?
The one closer.
Closer? No, this guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's a focus. Sorry, I was thinking.
There we go. Oh wow, that's got a real wide focus pull.
Let's see. Oh,
Oh, God.
blurry.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
This is L-Dunk's Sunday best. All in pink when he doesn't need to be stealthy. I love him so much.
with
It's
his
fantastic.
turkey haunch in hand, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, has L-Dunk ever thrown a dagger and accidentally thrown a turkey haunch?
Once or twice.
Do you get sneak attack with that?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Can we call it snack attack?
Ha ha!
prefer
That
that.
took a sec to hit me because I was fiddling with the camera.
No, you can say my joke's bad. It's
That was
okay.
good. That was good. No, that was good.
I think I'm gonna try and make this look like an ice cream cone this time, though.
Ooh. Ice cream cone in the furnace sounds really good right now.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm trying to go over some of the armpit areas where I see a little white popping through.
So, do you know what it is that makes you like playing cleric so much?
For me, especially when it comes to like video games and games in general, I like to be a support class.
Okay.
I feel like Overwatch, for example.
Sure.
I played Overwatch a lot with my friends. I feel like no one ever wanted to be the healer or the support class in general. And so I was like, well, if no one else wants to do it, I guess we'll just do it myself.
Right.
And it just kind of fit what was working for me. It gives me the ability to kind of sit back, look at the field as a whole, and help people out and kind of go, hey, that creature's doing some awful bad stuff. I may want to take care of that.
That's awesome.
So,
So that's in video games and tabletop games, just
Yeah.
as kind of your default?
yeah, it's always kind of been my default of just kind of being that more supportish clash character. WoW, I was paladins, and I would kind of pop around between healing and DPS, depending on what the raid or the party needed at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just always kind of been that.
Come on, guys, I'll support you throughout the fight. Let's do this.
It's funny, I actually really like playing DPS.
Yeah.
But I am better, in video games at least, I am better and I have higher win rates when I play a tank. Every time.
Oh, really?
Always. Always.
I do okay as a tank. The whole keeping aggro thing, it's a little difficult for me.
Yeah.
Which is mostly tanking. But I don't mind doing it when it comes up. I just always try and go support class because it seems to work better for my personality and kind of my play style.
Yeah.
Not to give too much away, but once again, I won't be playing support in this new campaign.
Right.
So this is a whole new world for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually be doing damage, so I hope that works out.
Hell yeah. I believe I heard the words glass cannon.
Yes, I am the glassiest glass cannon that could be in this world.
Hell yeah.
It makes me nervous because, as clerics, you usually have your shield, your heavy armor, you're just walking around with a 19 AC and you're fine. My AC without any kind of spells is a 9.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So a small kitten could hit me and kill me.
Oh, and probably will.
Yeah. So.
Bridget's here. Hey, Bridget.
Hi, Bridget. Talking about, DPS healing, all that stuff. When Jesse does the gummies, I won't say the name brand, but we all know what kind. Those are my favorite. But yet, somehow I find myself never killing anything because I'm usually healing or buffing or trying to keep people around.
That's a good point.
But Bridget shared hers with me, which I
Yay.
really appreciated.
More people should do that for their healers.
Yeah. Remember, always support your healers.
That's
It's
right.
on the mug.
A resurrection gummy. Like, if you bring someone back,
I think I should get like a whole bag if I bring someone back from the dead.
we'll bring it back from unconscious even, I would say.
Yeah.
Get a gummy.
I get a gummy for doing good stuff.
Yeah.
For being a moral compass.
That's a good point, which is, in older versions of the game and in some other games to this day, you got experience if you killed a monster.
Yeah.
It wasn't split on the whole party.
Nope. Yeah, it didn't used to be like that for some of them.
And that was hard for clerics,
Yep.
Like what are you supposed to do in that situation? And then like people would have to strategize. I almost said strategize in battles. Be like, okay, reduce it real low, and then have Baldur the cleric hit it with his mace. Come on, Baldur, you can do it, buddy. And they're all just like sitting there waiting, like holding the orc,
I got it,
both
guys.
his arms.
Got him.
All right, you deal 3 damage. It's not dead. Hit him again. What is going on?
Hold him still. I'm gonna get it.
Oh man.
Yeah, Kane has a mace because clerics have to have maces, and I don't think it's ever been used.
Yeah.
It's pretty dusty.
Yep.
I've used my crossbow a lot more than I ever thought I would, but the extra radiant damage kind of comes in handy.
For sure. Oh right, because that's a level what 8 thing?
Level 8, I believe I got that,
Yeah.
and it's quite nice. An extra D8 of radiant damage just from any kind of weapon.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, my character is the most overpowered character I've ever played. Ever played.
What?
I have two stats. I have 2 stats that are below 10, but I have 3. I have a 16, an 18, and a 20. Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to tell me because I want to find out on my own. What are the ones under 10? Is what I wonder.
I want that to come up in the game too because I'm planning on playing the shit out of that stat.
Are you
I'm
really?
really
Yes.
gonna go hard on that stat.
I will say I love it when a player plays their dump stat.
Yeah.
Like, Kane's got a 10 strength. He's useless when it comes to strength, but he will still try and do strongman things because I love the funniness of it. When somebody dropped players while flying, Kane was all for it,
Yep.
and Kane did great when it came to strength, which was awesome.
Yeah.
He still fell
Yeah.
a long way. No one's blaming anybody, but
Certainly we wouldn't blame Alex.
no. Why would we blame Alex? He's a good person. But it was still fun nonetheless, and especially when you have like intelligence or wisdom as your dump stat, and you're like, oh, I have to make this kind of check. Oh, I didn't do that. Well, I don't know, I guess. I love it. I think every character should have a negative modifier on one thing.
Yeah.
It makes roleplay fun. It changes up the game, and it takes away that element of, well, this person's just overpowered.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm just good at one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Kane is good at healing. That's his one thing. Just comes in handy a lot.
Oh, by the way, you should get a quick overview of the dry brushing process. So,
Oh, yes. Teach me, master.
I have taken yellow paint, and you want to pick a stiff brush for this, and you load the brush up with the paint, and then you wipe almost all of it off until it's barely leaving a mark on the paper towel, and you can even test it on your skin to see how much is coming off. Okay. And then you lightly brush it over. And it works best on textured surfaces, although it will work in other scenarios. And you can see how it's just highlighting the tips of the scales and leaving the recesses darker. And so this gives it a much more interesting textured appearance. And you can combine that with things like oils and washes. Mm-hmm. And those, being very watery and very runny, will run into the cracks and crevices and create a really strong contrast between your highs and your lows. So once you've got the base green on,
right,
then it's good to go over it with a much lighter green to get all the scales to pop.
That's where we go with the toxicity.
Exactly. Of our
Don't
city.
you know that you're toxic? Oh, sorry. We're going to get demonetized. I was too close to actual Britney Spears.
It seems like occasionally the camera connection's cutting out or something. Like this one is just flickering black.
Blacking out, right? I noticed that was happening. I don't know.
I don't know if it's a cable thing or
Yeah.
what. I'm gonna try and just.
Oh, shoot.
Oh. I got this one. Do you need that?
Nope, that's fine. I just noticed that some of the red got rubbed off, so before I dry brush I need to.
Actually, are there more paper towels out here?
They would be in the kitchen.
Okay.
Fortunately, we do not. Cheers.
Cheers.
And cheers to you at home.
Oh yes. Well.
Butter.
Bully.
Oh man, I'm actually making some good progress on this dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll tell you what, dragons are actually kind of a joy to paint because they are so scaly.
Yeah.
You can paint the base color, and then you can do a lot of dry brushing and a couple of ink washes, and then go back in for some details, and you've got a really awesome, badass looking miniature that's not, like, I can't wait one day to paint a beholder, but also I know it's going to drive me crazy.
Oh, I have one ready
know.
to go.
It's a nice one, too.
Yeah. I love it, and I got it after I got my first PC kill with a beholder.
Nice.
My very first PC kill was with a beholder. I feel bad about it still, if you're watching. He never lets me live it down. I rolled very well for the destructive beam.
Oh yeah.
And he didn't have much health left, and yeah.
There it goes.
So yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, you never forget your first, do you?
No, you never do.
Do you have a first PC kill yet, there, Garrett? Or is it to come still?
In the new phase of my life of playing D&D, I have not killed a player. I know I killed many when I was a teenager. I do not remember it. It was a lot more laissez-faire back then. It was just like, oh yeah, my character died. I've been wanting to play a new one anyway, you know?
Okay.
So it wasn't like, the first one wasn't like a big deal. It was like, oh, you're dead. Oh, okay, cool. Let's
keep going.
Right. Like, I'm going to roll up a new character and he's my other character's brother. Okay, let's keep going, you know?
Oh, wow, yeah. See, that's why I kind of like Adventure Leagues, because you can kind of just do that. It's like, oh, my guy died. Well, his cousin Larry's here, who also is a fighter. Cool, let's go.
Yeah.
You don't kind of have to, like, create this weird backstory and explain why he's there or he or she's there for that reason. You can just, bam, they're there, let's go.
Exactly.
I used to do a couple Adventure Leagues in Salem, which were really fun.
Oh, cool.
They were at a bar that I'm drawing a blank on the name at the moment, but it was still quite fun.
Nice.
I met some really nice people, had some good times, played a cleric again. Can't really get out of clerichood. But I also do bards and druids, still support class, but yeah, I still kind of stick in that area.
Yeah, and it's that, it's also that sort of thing where, like, drummers are way more valuable than guitarists because everybody wants to be the guitarist, and if you can find somebody who's a good drummer, it's like do everything you can to make them want to be in your band, because it's going to be a lot harder to replace them than you can always find some other yahoo who can play the guitar.
I only ever learned how to play the trumpet. Never came up as a rock band thing.
Yeah, you missed the whole ska.
Yeah. Then again, I only played it in like middle school, so
Well, there you
I didn't have rock star dreams back then.
go. Yeah.
Just seeing my first boob. Sorry.
That was my life aspiration back then.
Yep.
Hashtag relatable.
Wasn't until college.
Oh man.
It was sooner than that, but we don't need to go down that road. You know, I'm loving this big dragon, but at the same time, why do your head have to turn like that? It makes it really interesting.
Oh, getting in the cracks and stuff?
Yeah, kind of. It's like, oh, I'm gonna try and get in this little tight space here.
Yeah.
No, I do not have the trumpet still. I rented it, and when I tried to return it, I got the mouthpiece stuck in the trumpet, and we just dropped it off and ran. So yeah, that was fun. I was,
Here you go. It still works perfectly. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, it's still a trumpet. It still does trumpet things. All right. Bye. I think I rented it from somewhere in Newburgh, if I remember correctly. That was years ago.
Besides, if you think about it, I mean, if they're a rental place, there's nobody more qualified to repair a mouthpiece issue.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I imagine I wasn't the first or the last.
Right.
So, I mean, if they're still watching with a grudge, sorry.
Your list of internet stalkers continues to grow. Your first player death, that one trumpet rental place.
Oh gosh, guys, I can't do the stream anymore. I have a trumpet place with an assassination on me.
Little did you know, the guy who ended up having to repair the trumpet was the same player that you killed in that game. He's very upset.
Brandon, don't do it.
Bridget's going to bring in a conch shell for you to play.
All
She
hail
brought
the
the-
magic conch.
She brought the conch shell to my house, and it sounds amazing. It requires a lot to play. Like Nolan was like, he had to really go in on it. But once you got it going,
Great. Now I got to remember how to do.
all the mouth stuff.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, it's just that it's.
Go on. Today on Crafternoon, we talk about mouth stuff.
It's all about the mouth stuff.
Oh. Are they as perverted, the other cast members on this show?
No,
It's just me?
it's just you so far.
Oh, I knew it was going to go that way.
But see, my strength is being a chameleon. Like I can match you in that respect.
I wouldn't.
when Jesse was here, I remarked that our conversation went straight into the heaviest topics, like in no time flat.
Oh, really?
Within 5 minutes, we were talking about like very intense subjects of conversation, and I was like, that's interesting, but that's just kind of the person that Jesse is.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's okay.
I totally saw that episode.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I know everybody in the
yeah,
cast always
yeah.
watches Crafternoon.
We were watching it live. I wasn't playing Curse of Strahd at the same time.
No, I know. If the cast of Critical Role are allowed not to watch Talks Machina, I can't make too big of a deal.
Well, I watched the VODs.
Yeah.
On Tuesdays as Crafternoon is going on, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons with other people.
And that is perfectly fine.
They even let me come here and do this today,
Yeah.
so willingly.
Speaking of Crystal being very mad at me for stealing you,
Are we doing the story live?
I
We can do
heard.
the story.
I heard. I got a lot of grief on Thursday, which I understand.
Oh, they were giving me grief on on our messenger yesterday, calling me a traitor and everything.
And then she was like, fine, you know what? I'm going to come do Crafternoon too. And I had to be like, it's actually like a show. We can't just have more people show up. And she was like, Garrett, you're the worst.
We love you, Crystal. We really do.
We really do.
I-
Crystal's the best.
Oh, as a player, because I think she played a little bit before I started DMing her, but she was still very new to it.
Yeah.
Watching her progression as a player, I love it.
Yeah.
Because in the homebrew campaign, she played a rogue.
Yeah.
Which I love rogues, kind of. And she does so well at it. And I kind of let her play her own thing and kind of go for it, which I love to see her do. In Curse of Strahd, which we're running right now, she's a blood hunter.
Oh,
And
I think she
love it.
told me about this.
She's doing so great as a blood hunter. Oh, she went Ghost Slayer,
Nice,
which
nice.
is just killing it.
Especially in Curse of Strahd, my God.
Yes. We were looking at it together, and she kind of asked for my opinion, and I said, I like them all, but I would say Ghost Slayer would be a great one to do right now.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't so worried about the players metagaming or kind of going ahead. I was like, we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
We're going to get some new people introduced to the game, get them addicted like everybody else, and give me a chance to kind of practice DMing.
Right.
Because it's a lot easier when you don't have to come up with stuff so much on the spot and you can kind of look at the book. And I say that, but last time we played, I had to make up like several NPCs and businesses because they don't have it in the book.
Right.
But that was all right. I came up with some great characters on the fly, which is what I love doing.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, come up with a character. Okay, there's a guy and he's a blacksmith and he does stuff.
What's my favorite thing is like you can put a lot of work into certain NPCs and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is such a good NPC. And they have a 30-second conversation. They're like, cool, we're done with that person. And you're like, okay. And then they find like a random bandit in the woods who
Yes.
attacks them first. And
Yes.
then they like manage not to kill him and the entire party adopts him. And they're like, this is our bandit now. And you're like, well, that's the one I'm going to kill. I'm kidding. I would never touch Brex if you're watching, which you are, Bridget. Don't worry.
He's lying.
Of course I'm lying.
I saw the notes.
He let me look at his notebook.
He didn't.
I didn't.
That's a DM sin right there.
That is.
The whole bandit that you're just supposed to kill and move on. Yeah. There's an NPC in my homebrew campaign because of that.
Yeah.
And she's still around to this day, and the party still, I had to come up with stuff for her, so that was great. I love her. She didn't need to die instantly. But in any case,
Did she die?
no, she's still there.
Okay.
I now kind of really want to keep her.
Yeah.
'Cause,
You grow attached, you know?
Yeah. Well, I came up with this thing where, because she was just a druid out in the woods, they were supposed to just come across this little camp, mess with it, find loot, quote unquote.
Right.
And then she was just going to come fly down as an owl with some wolves and attack. Basic encounter, move on with the life. Now, she is looking over a phoenix baby.
Oh.
And she's trying to, get this phoenix to grow up and have little phoenix babies and help stimulate the population in the world.
Right.
So now I'm like, don't kill this woman. Keep her. I want a phoenix, dang it.
The world needs phoenixes again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like, the phoenixes are so rare because they were hunted down for their feathers and whatnot. So this is the only one known in the area, and she's trying to raise it up, and it just creates a cool little hey, you get to see a phoenix.
Totally. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I will say that I did design one character or one NPC for my Thursday campaign who was supposed to be important and who remains important, and I love the party has a lot of trouble figuring her out. They're just like, what's what? But they really like her because she's definitely a good person. There's no question that she's a good person. But they're like, but what's her deal?
What's her stuff?
What's going on?
Well, I have a few of those NPCs where they're just like, we don't trust them. They're obviously up to no good. And it's like, they're not evil. They're just very driven towards a purpose and goal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're evil. No, they're not. They've already decided this person is the big baddie of the campaign.
This is the one.
This is the one. And trust me, you only wish it was him. The real thing is worse.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, same hat.
Yeah.
I have, and things can change obviously between now and then.
Yeah.
But I have a plan. I have a plan for my big bad, and yeah.
Bridget says they like her staff.
They do like her staff. You know what? I didn't even think that I said anything particular about the staff. Like, I don't know why you guys are so obsessed with the staff, but they're obsessed with the
Obsessed?
staff.
You'll have to tell me about this staff because he won't tell me.
Yeah, I swear, it was not meant to be special. I didn't try to describe it special or anything like that. But they were like, "That staff," and I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "What's it do?" I'm like, "What do you just met this person? What do you know?" And now they're just like, "Hey, can we borrow your staff?" And she's like, "No," constantly.
Don't touch it.
What if it's a staff that like gives diseases when you hit people with it?
You know,
I
like
mean,
a staff
staff of-
infection.
Yeah.
You stole my joke here. You knew where I was going with that, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I was going to list an actual item. What was your joke?
I was going to say it's going to give people staph infections. You invited me.
So Angus, we'll just take Lucas out of the rotation.
You invited me. Remember that.
Lucas, come paint with us. It'll be great.
You knew who I was beforehand.
You know what I'm about.
Yeah. The puns are way worse on Sundays.
That's true. Oh, we have a very
Oh.
pun-heavy crew on Sundays.
I want to start like a little contest now, and like where we vote who had the best pun joke of the night,
Yeah.
and just like, oh, you win like a dummy prize, like a little pun trophy. Or
Well, see, now it's going to be on stream, and now the viewers, they can vote. They
Ooh,
can
that
vote
is
for the
true.
that can be a whole community thing. Best pun of the night.
Oh, I have to step up my A game there.
Yeah.
I will say, I am a professional. My father and I have been punning for years.
Oh no.
Yeah, we whenever we would go like fishing, hunting, hiking, we would pick like a genre or a topic like trees,
Uh-huh.
and you just make puns off of them back and forth like tennis.
Nice.
For hours we would do that. Puns like cars, trees, plants, fish. You know, that way you're just not carping around. Is that a fishy one for you? Sorry. I just like to do this for the halibut.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm taking psychic damage with every sentence.
I told you, I'm a good bard.
Yeah. Brit-
It's like a glass eye. I don't know why we want to steal it, but it will be ours.
Exactly. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I know that I'm taking that eye.
You have a glass eye too?
No.
Oh, I thought she had a glass eye and a staff. That was going to be an interesting combo.
I'm not digging. What am I not digging here? I'm not digging the horns. The ridges, I tried to dry brush heavier with yellow, but it just kind of, it doesn't look how I want it to. And I don't know what to do about it.
What's the nice thing about paint? You can just go over it.
Yeah.
That was a lesson I had to learn for myself. That it's okay, you can paint over it. And it's a
Let me
message.
pull up some references here.
How's everyone doing out there tonight? Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Hopefully you're painting too. I'm always jealous of people who can actually like, paint and draw and have that artistic ability.
Yeah, right? Like actual drawing and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, any form of art, honestly.
Yeah.
Be nice if I understand it comes with practice, and if I really tried at it, I could, but I just...
Well, it's one of those things where you have to pick what you want to spend your time on.
Right.
And if you can, like, I could just go get good at drawing, but I can't do that and paint, and write, and learn guitar, and learn, like, right now, I write, I'm learning guitar, I'm learning piano, I do all of this, you know, and I have a family, and it's just like, yeah, if I ever tried to become a visual artist, something else would have to go. So is there anything that I want to do less
Right.
than learning how to draw that I'm currently doing? No. I like what I'm doing.
That is true. Whenever you take up like a new hobby or anything else in your life, it subtracts away from other things. And
Exactly.
so you got to be prepared for that kind of stuff. I didn't know you were learning guitar too. How's that going?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a slow process. I'd wanted to play for a long time, and then when I was 30, I just bought a guitar. And so now I've just been kind of, not seriously, and I've never paid for lessons, which I really should do at some point.
Yeah.
But I've just been fucking around with it for a few years now, and I really like it.
Do you do the YouTube thing where you watch people like teach guitar on there?
I do a little bit of that. Mostly I do Rocksmith.
Rocksmith. What is that?
You know Guitar Hero, where you
Yes.
learn how to not really play a song on not a real instrument?
You know, where I just press colors and
Yeah. Rocksmith is exactly the same thing with an actual guitar. You plug your guitar into your computer and it feeds you an interface that's just like Guitar Hero,
Right.
but it can detect what notes you're playing. So, yeah. And it gradually steps you up in difficulty. Like when you're first playing, you literally just play the root notes of the chords, and then it adds like one string at a time until you're playing the whole thing. Rhea Newton, what are you doing here? Yes, I did kind of make another Twitch channel. I mean, it's me and some friends. But yeah. What up, Rhea? Rhea is one of my... Rhea watched the first live stream I ever did on the internet.
Really?
Uh-huh. It was a writing stream, and oh, shit. And I went to Reddit, a place that I never go, and that I have rarely gone since.
Oh,
and I
really?
was like, I went to a writing subreddit, and I was like, hey, I'm going to try streaming my writing. I don't know how it's going to go. But, like, Rhea happened to be in that subreddit and was like, sure, click. And now I've published stories of hers, and she's working on a book series that I'm going to publish later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. That'd be awesome.
Rhea's fantastic. What are you doing here, Rhea? Isn't it like 2 a.m. where you are?
Where is she at?
England.
Oh, what? Probably don't want to ask her what part of England on the internet.
Yeah, probably not. But like, I think it's safe to say near London. It's 3 a.m. Rhea, go to bed. But also don't. Stay and hang out with us.
Hang out with us until the stream's over, and then you can, do what you want.
It's like almost 2 hours.
We're gonna be here for 2 hours.
You knew what you were getting into. All right, so this is like the sort of default red dragon image, and I think I need to make those horns bone is like the main thing that I'm seeing here, because they really sort of isolate the face a bit more. So I'm going to do that. And that means going in with a brown. No, not you.
It's it's interesting that we have a viewer from England. I have a sister who lives in England,
Hey, nice.
so I am familiar a little bit with England. I also watch a lot of BBC TV recently. So, have you ever heard of a show called Taskmaster?
No.
Oh, it's such a great BBC show. If you ever have a chance, it's on YouTube for us Americans. They're also, I think we're streaming it on a TV channel. I'm not sure. But if you ever get the chance, great show. Very funny. Some amazing comedians on there.
Sweet. Rhea says, actually, I live in central London. I knew that. I just didn't want to say it on stream.
We
But
didn't want to, call
now
it
that
out.
you have, technically, she is near London. Yes. And she, too, has a sister from England.
Ah, that makes sense.
And probably more family in England as well.
That would definitely make sense.
All right. Now let's get in here with this brown. So what keeps you up so late, Rhea?
Just hanging out, having a good time with the boys. As we paint dragons.
Dragons. Yeah, we actually haven't had the big boy on the camera yet, so let's get him in here real quick.
Don't judge me too harshly.
This is a base coat. There's literally nothing to judge. Oh yeah. Oh it's a scary boy. Oh man. It's such a cool mini.
I know. I had a young adult dragon that was like a Dungeons and Dragons one.
Yeah.
In my hand, I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I really like it." And then I saw a big boy, and I went, "Oh yeah,
Oh, that's
we're
the
gonna
one.
go big." If we're gonna do this on stream, let's get the big boy in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad I did. I bought a few minis. Unfortunately, one of my players decided to play a Luxodon. And finding a Luxodon mini in a game shop is actually quite difficult, I found out.
Remind me, Luxodons are the
Elephants.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes. I love it. He's a Luxodon rogue. So a sneaky elephant.
Okay.
It's a very interesting combo, and I'm loving it. And he's really good at the RP for it. So
Totally.
he's hitting on a couple of the female NPCs, and that's always fun getting hit on by a guy.
Yeah.
It happens more often than I care to think about, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely Definitely a new roleplay experience for me.
So I've had this campaign with my wife in it that I've played occasionally. We can't get together every week, but and it's some friends who are not generally nerdy and whatnot.
Right.
But my wife is in it, and she is playing a bard, and that's only her third character she's ever played in D&D.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's very new. Was never into it as a kid or anything like that, but she is getting the exact reverse experience because every NPC that I play tries to seduce her.
And she's flirting with your wife.
Yes, and she's like, Garrett, knock it off. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. Your charisma is 18. You're super hot.
Oh,
and
man.
she's like, my charisma is 16. I said, I was talking about yours, baby.
Oh, that's some slick
Come
shit.
on, right?
That's some slick
that's
shit,
good.
dog. I love it. I'm going to take some notes here.
Hey, Rhea was doing D&D prep. That's fantastic.
Oh, awesome. 5th edition as well, or are you doing your own homebrew, or are you doing like a book?
She came and visited once, and she did a homebrew one-shot for me and my family.
Oh, really?
And my kids remember it to this day.
Oh, you got the kiddos to play it too.
Mm-hmm. It was me, the kids, and Megan.
Awesome.
Which was great because that's the only time that Megan and I have ever been able to be players in the same thing. So again, just some more relentless flirting.
I will keep that in mind. If I ever get some more free time, maybe I can do something where you and your wife could just play and have fun.
That'd be amazing. One-shots are great for that, obviously.
Yeah, I haven't made a real one-shot before.
Me neither. I find it hard to approach.
Yeah, thank you. I felt
know?
like I was like, oh, one-shot should be easy. I'm like, man, this is quite difficult. Like, I'm not sure how to scale it. Like, how many creatures should there be? You've gotten likes.
What was that?
I was just trying to keep up.
Ghosts of Saltmarsh for work friends. Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, I was reading that book a little bit while I was at the game shop, picking up this bad boy, and it looks like a good book. I would like to do more books with like seafaring adventure kind of stuff in it.
Yeah.
Which is why I started a second homebrew campaign in my mind and started writing that. I saw a YouTuber who I really like. He was talking about like different campaigns that he's done and homebrew ideas, and he had this idea of how to do, like, you already know what the final boss is, and it's just you working towards the goal of being high enough level to attack this said creature.
That's awesome.
So I'm going with a kraken.
Oh.
So they have to get allies, gain levels, find a boat, and everything to take out a kraken.
In one shot?
Not in a one shot, but like as an overarching full-on campaign.
Got it. I got it.
Yeah, as a one shot, that'd be a little difficult.
I was like, getting levels in a one shot. That's not one I've heard before.
No. No, one shots. I'm still trying to figure out on that one.
Hey, Rhea, have you seen my character that I painted on previous Crafternoons? That's going to be in the new campaign. Have you seen her online? I'm gonna grab her and show her off.
She's pretty cool. I've seen photos of this one, and I was looking at it too while we were setting up. Because I feel like that's something all DMs do, is we all compare minis and you look at them and see what each other has.
Right.
And if you're a really good DM, you kind of let each other share. The sharing is caring. Oh man.
I posted some pictures of her in the Discord server, but her name is Helry, and I love her so much. She is a full-blooded orc. I am being a little bit cagey about other details about her, but no, that's fine. So this is, on Tuesdays, we've been doing this for the last few weeks. Starting in like 2 or 3 weeks, on Sundays, we are going to be live streaming a new campaign, and she is going to be my character in that campaign. And so all the players, we're trying to withhold at least some information on our characters. Although I feel like mine is probably the best known at this point.
Yeah, I mean, hosting the show, it kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, but also because like people met her in, again, Fool's Gold. You know?
Oh, yes, that is true. Actually, I never met her in Fool's Gold because I came in before you left.
Oh, like after I left?
Or yes, sorry,
Yeah.
after you left.
Interesting.
So I never got to see her, I believe. Because you never met Avik, which was the cleric I had.
Right. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, see, that's sort of emblematic of my problem with doing it like that. Is
Yeah.
like, I didn't know who was there.
Yeah.
That might be, now that I think about it, that might be one thing about online, is like, that probably is a thing that works better with like 3 players or 4 players as opposed to 7 or 8.
I will say, especially when you're talking online stuff, when you have like a smaller group, like 3-4 people, it's a lot easier. It's harder for more people, I found, because you find yourself talking over people.
A lot.
And that's really difficult when you're, like, for our group, we're fairly RP heavy. And we all like our chance in the spotlight. So it's hard to do that online without talking over each other.
Exactly.
But luckily, I had a knowledge domain cleric, so he didn't say much unless he had to. Who I miss every day.
Rhea, I mean, obviously do what you want, but I think you'll enjoy this campaign if you check it out.
Yeah,
I think you, Rhea, knowing you specifically, are gonna have a lot to like in this campaign. That's all I will say about that.
and I'm going to hopefully have an enjoyable time, and hopefully you all will too. Because I am not playing a support class. I mean, what have people told you about their characters, or told the stream?
As little as possible.
As little as possible.
As little as possible.
Have
And
people
that's
said-
that's a personal request.
Right, and I don't
Yeah.
want to come in on that one for sure. Have people told races at all?
I have found out a few races. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I know Bridget's race. I know Harry's race. I think I heard Roberto's race, but I forgot it. What were you gonna ask?
I totally spaced out.
Okay.
I haven't heard much besides seeing your mini. That's all I know about everybody else.
Okay.
And I like that. I want to experience it like the character would experience it.
Yeah.
As these are individuals I am just meeting, and I know little about them, and I kind of like that aspect of it.
Totally.
But I'm not playing a support class. I'm playing a DPS, and it's interesting to say the least.
Nice.
It means I'm going to do damage, and I don't do that stuff very often. Unless I'm throwing a guiding bolt around here and there.
Guiding bolt.
Yep.
I cast fireball.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those 3rd level up spells, especially when it comes to doing the big boy stuff.
I'm looking forward to level 9.
There is some level I'm looking for specifically, and it has nothing to do with damage. I gotta remember though. Class blank. Level 6. Level 6, I will be happy as a clam.
You know that while we're on the sea, I had a talk.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome.
I do have to have a little chat with Jesse before we get there about some more kind of like visual aesthetic things. Not really like trying to change the class or what it gets, but mostly just trying to change visualizing it. So I don't think you'll have a problem with it, but I never want to push the issue with DMs. I always
Totally.
just, hey, I was having this idea. What do you think? Yes or no? And if it's a no, cool. I completely understand.
Yeah. Here's how I'm envisioning it. Is that cool? Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Are there any details to sort out?
Yeah. I mean, especially for me as a DM, I always like to give kind of flavor text up to the player.
Right.
Like, as long as you get no stat benefit or any kind of major benefit over other party members, and it's just how it looks and how it feels for you, go for it. Play it up. Do whatever seems right for your character.
Right.
And I've let some weird things slide because I'm like, oh, if you think that's good for your character, go right ahead.
Yeah.
I have players who collect dead bodies parts constantly, and I'm glad they keep track of it because I lost track a long time ago. For the Curse of Strahd, I had to make a taxidermist because they're like, oh, I want to taxidermy some things, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, I guess.
I don't think they had that in the book, but yeah, they're there now.
Sure. And that's, that's an important thing too.
Yeah. Just let people...
Let your players have fun.
Exactly.
That's what you're there for.
And also, it's a good way for them to spend gold and kind of get that out of their coin purse a little bit.
100%.
Instead of having them just walk around with fat stacks of money.
That's an interesting thing. Do you know much about game design or video games or anything like that?
I know a reasonable amount, I would say, probably.
I had never, until I read some articles on it and whatnot, I'd never heard of the concept of resource bleed.
Yes.
Like, if you just have too much gold, it kind of breaks the whole system, and so you just keep inventing ways for people to spend gold in a way that's not going to break the game.
Yeah, and especially with WoW Classic coming back, you definitely see that between the two of them. Because WoW Classic, gold is hard to come by.
Right.
And you have to save every penny. And when you buy your skills and things like that, it's just a way to bleed how much funds you have.
Right.
So that way you're not level 5 with 1,000 gold pieces and you can just do whatever you want. It's like, no, you have to be very picky about what you're doing here. So, yeah, gold money bleeding is definitely a thing that needs to be done, both in video games and tabletop games.
Right.
You don't want someone uber rich.
Yeah, that's much better. See how that's like
making
the whole face pop a lot more?
Oh my, that is really nice. Yeah. See, now you got me thinking about my rhino horn on this guy.
Yeah.
That'll be the interesting one when I get there. It's just now getting all the...
Hey, what's up, Seth9000? Do you paint any dragoons? I could paint some dragoons, but I don't have any dragoons to paint, sadly.
Yeah, I don't even have dragoons either. And I buy minis like they're going out of style. I'll go to the shop, I'm like, oh, I'll pick up a box, and I go home with 4 different packs of minis.
I have to really not let myself go to miniature market because I went to get one thing a week ago, and I ended up buying $75 worth of minis.
Oh.
So
I think because after Sunday is when I went and bought this guy.
Yeah.
I was like at 112.
Oh boy.
He was of course the most expensive one. Of course. But yeah, I found some things I fell in love with.
There's just so many things, and you're like, I don't know when I'm going to use it, but I want to.
Well, and I like those mystery packs with like the pre-painted middies.
Mm-hmm.
I know it takes away some of the fun, but I kind of like the mystery of it. Like, oh, what am I going to get? I even got this Gyno Sphinx from it recently.
Uh-huh. Oh, very nice. And pre-painted. Let me see that.
Yeah,
That's
they're
amazing.
all pre-painted. You get a big one and 3 small ones.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
So, I mean, if you're not a painter and you're wanting to get like a few minis, the mystery boxes are fun because you get a few minis, you can kind of mix it up, and now I have to come up with a Gyno Sphinx in some of my campaigns because I have one, might as well use it. And it's mystery. Like, a boat's a boat, but your mystery box could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be a boat.
I think
I'll take the box.
I'm very interested in that whole concept because I want to know what I'm getting, but I also understand why they do it that way because then, no mini company wants to produce, let's say, a shambling mound.
Yeah.
That nobody buys. Like,
exactly.
They sell 5 of them and whatnot, but then they're like, okay, no, we'll make a few models that are like a little riskier.
Yeah.
And then we'll make like a whole bunch of ogres and all that sort of stuff. And then we'll just
Generics.
mystery box it. And we're going to sell the same number no matter what.
Yeah.
And like, that's actually really smart, like I respect that.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that, if there would be a way to measure the effect that has on people's memories 20 years from now. and it's like, oh my god, the best thing ever, the best D&D experience I ever had was this Gynosphinx that showed up, and most people are like, what is like? I've never used a Gynosphinx.
Yeah.
I've never had the urge to, but if I had that mini, I'd be like, okay,
You start looking it up.
how am I going to use this exactly?
Exactly. Yeah. You're just like, well, I got it. May as well use it.
So Ryan mentioning, honestly, I can't paint and don't have any time to learn or much interest. I wish prepared minis were more common.
Totally.
Yeah, the problem is, from what I've seen, especially at a lot of these game shops, which I understand, they got to make their profit, and support your local game shop. Everybody, they're going away, sadly, and
Yeah.
every dollar we can give them helps. And because that's when I was playing 3.5, it was in a game shop,
Yeah.
just at a table with 12 people.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a story there. Don't worry. And yeah, we're just a little game shop. We would go buy magic cards during breaks and whatnot, and it was a great experience. And I feel like that experience is going away slowly,
Yeah.
and I kind of wish it didn't. So anytime I can support the little guys, let's do that.
Totally.
But yeah, 3.5, we had at the most 11 players and a dungeon master. I was the only cleric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and for those of you who aren't aware with 3.5, you didn't have cantrips. You had 0 level spells, and you only had so many 0 level spell slots.
Right.
So at level 1, with 11 PCs, counting myself, I had 7 spells. 5 0 level spells and 2 first level spells.
So, if anybody died,
They were dead.
they were dead.
They were dead.
You're dead, bro.
Yeah, healing management. I learned how to do that the hard way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I only have 2 hit points. Yeah, but he has 1, so I'm gonna wait.
Right.
You all can chill for a moment.
I'm gonna get you back on your feet. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
Hero clicks absolutely count as minis. Seth, it's really interesting you mentioned that because I need dryads. I need a lot of dryads, and I need them kind of quick. And I went looking online, and the only available dryad minis that I could find right now are packaged with a satyr. And listen,
Yes,
I don't need 10 satyrs. I just don't want 10 satyrs. I don't want those minis. So I went and I found this guy who had a YouTube video about how to create dryads. And there is a specific HeroClix mini that you can get for like 75 cents. And when you cut her off the base and paint her like she's made of wood or plants, she looks like a dryad. And he was like, there you go. Like 10 dryads for $10, basically. And I am all about that life, so I'm gonna be doing that.
I will say though, the idea of a roving bandit of satyrs just sounds amazing to me. You hear off in the distance, war band pan flutes coming.
Meh.
Meh. We gotta run. Meh. I'm gonna do that now. I
Do it.
have to get a bandit group of satyrs.
Do it.
Oh, I could have done that when I threw my party into the Feywild. Darn
Yep.
it.
My party's there right now.
Are they really?
Yep.
Love the Feywild. Such an amazing place.
They're in the shit too.
Oh, really?
They are not in the safer parts of the Feywild, if those even exist.
Safer.
Safer, yeah. They're not in the safer parts.
I've been reading up a little bit on the Shadowfell area, which that would be kind of fun to do.
Hell yeah. Jesse's Thursday character is very, very tied to the Shadowfell. He's a Shadar-kai elf. So,
Oh, really?
and his whole backstory is very, very heavily involved with all that. He's great. There are so many great character dynamics in the Thursday group. I mean, just like we have in the Sunday group. Just like certain characters who pair off so well together, and it wasn't intentional, but boy, if it just works so dang well.
Well, and I was talking to Alex on Sunday too. Like the dynamics between Kane and Give are really nice. Like it came out quite well, and it wasn't like a pre-planned thing.
Right.
Like the first time we had an interaction together, Kane showed him, mercy and kind of just what Kane does.
Right.
And it meant really big things for Give. And in Kane's eyes, it was like, I'm just helping a person.
That's just what you do.
And it's like, I understand you're a different race than me, but that doesn't matter. I'm
Right.
here to help people, and you're an individual who had a boo-boo at the moment, and I'm going to help you.
There we go. Oh, if only the real world could be like that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Where is my black? There you are. Hello, little one.
These apple barrel paints are really nice. I like these. I'm going to have to pick those up now.
Yeah, they are very thick, so they need to be heavily watered down to be very good for minis. But do that, and they work great.
Well, it's like even though it's pretty thick in some places on this dragon, I like it.
Yeah.
Like, I like the coating of it. It defines it.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course they are better the bigger the mini is, because the bigger the mini is, the more exaggerated the details are, and so, like you said, it doesn't matter if it's a little thick.
It's all right being thick. Anything else fun going on with you? I know we just saw each other a couple days ago.
I know, right? No, it's mostly been camera and stream stuff. I am close to finishing another book, so that's always exciting.
You know, I need to read some of your books.
You don't need to, but you are welcome to.
I mean, you and I are becoming more friends, and we're hanging out, and we're doing this kind of stuff. I would like to at least read your books and see what they're like.
I appreciate that, but I'll tell you what, most of my friends and family have never read my books, and that's fine. I don't honestly know why they would, because they've never read Brandon Sanderson either. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's like, if somebody's not a big fantasy reader, I don't know why they would. And even if they are a fantasy reader, but like not that big one, like I know plenty of people who are like, they're keeping up with Game of Thrones, and they read new books when N.K. Jemisin puts them out, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's fine, nothing wrong with that.
And Garrett, so Maria saying that apparently your new cover is your favorite so far.
I will send it to you in Discord right now, Rhea. I hope you'll like it. I shit my pants when this art came back to me.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the art for my character. I've never had, because I've always had characters, but I can't draw to, save my life.
Right.
So to have someone who's actually artistic draw it, I'm really excited to see it.
Uh-huh.
I kind of gave them a little bit more artistic liberty, because I'm like, no, you're the artist. You tell me what will look great.
Go nuts.
I kind of gave a rough outline, and I'm like, there you go. I trust you. You're going to kill it. I've done that with things I probably shouldn't have in the past, like tattoos, but oh my goodness. That's so cool. Read his book, folks. Go buy it. It looks great. I haven't read it, but the cover art looks amazing.
This one's not out yet. This one is hopefully a Christmas release.
Buy the ones before it so you can get ready for that one.
Exactly.
And while you're at it, follow us and join our Discord group. I don't know the terminology.
Yeah. Oh man, that was what I was gonna do. I was gonna put a Discord link down below the stream. Angus, do you have edit privileges on the Twitch channel?
I don't believe I do.
Okay, we should try to set that up on break.
Yeah.
But yeah, join the community, chat with us, say hi. See how things are going in our little world of ours.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite fun.
We do have fun. We need to get into the habit. I was just thinking of this today. We need to get into the habit of posting our Sunday D&D memes. They need to start going in the Discord server.
Oh my goodness. That would be
at
its
least
own
the
chat.
ones that we can, because I know that there are some that we probably don't want to take any public responsibility for.
Just blame it on me. It's fine. We all know I'm the one that said it.
So 2 writers and an artist, all the good role players. Oh, that's amazing, Rhea. Oh man, yeah, having an artist in your group who will just like do some character art in their spare time is awesome. Did you get the Rhea? Did you get the image I just sent you?
I I did not bring my backpack. Dang it.
Why?
One of my players, okay. So this is a little bit longer story, and sorry, I'll try to make it quick.
It's okay.
3.5, me and him joined in the middle of a campaign.
Okay.
We kind of went on a hiatus. And so the DM was like, oh, just kind of come in together to make the intro a lot easier. And so while we were waiting to join the party, you know, when you kind of get your characters all together and whatnot, we were just making the characters, adding equipment and whatnot. And he came across in the book that you could buy bars of soap. And I was like, oh, you could buy soap. Well, that's funny. Hey, what we should do is like throw a bar of soap at the party and confuse them just for a gag.
Yeah.
Well, we had so much time sitting there, we ended up making the characters based around the soap bar. So it became a thing where we're cousins from a soap industry, the Soap-On brothers.
Okay.
Or Soap-On cousins. And the whole thing was, oh, we're trying to find who killed our uncle, who owned this soap empire. And he drew the best logo for the soap company. It was a scrubbing bubbles like thing with the Trojan hat with the flaring on top.
Okay.
And like little bubbles underneath them. It was amazing drawing. I still have it in my bag. I always carry the art with me because it's my favorite memory of us making characters based off of soap.
That is fantastic.
And he was a rogue, so he would like sneak samples into people's pockets when they weren't looking. And I was a sorcerer, so I'd make it magical and whatnot. It was a blast. The Soap-On brothers, they're still in this world. They act in my homebrew all the time.
That's amazing. I love stuff like that.
Yeah. Just we're just killing time. Oh, you can buy soap for a copper. Oh, why don't we buy it and we'll just throw it at him as a joke.
Because I forget, Kane didn't come with us to Rim, did he?
No, Kane has not been to Rim yet, and I'm still hoping we can still play Kane in the off hours, whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, play Iron Belly, because Kane is gonna learn a spell. And you're gonna have to, or Peldon's gonna have to take him to Rim.
Okay.
Because I need a temple to Ilmater.
Oh, okay. Makes
For the
sense.
spell.
Yeah, you'll definitely find that in Rim.
Yes, and so I'll kind of give you a little sneak peek into it. It's a teleportation spell.
Okay.
Where Kane and so many people can teleport to a temple of my choosing. I have to go there, cast the spell, and it essentially acts as a one-way ticket to there.
It's like a panic button.
Yes, and what I love about it is I'm a cleric of Ilmater with a life domain. And so I teleport to this temple of Ilmater in Rim. That's essentially teleporting into a hospital.
Yeah.
So we can be in whatever trouble that we're in. We could be all hurt and dying. Poof, we're instantly in a hospital.
Hey, everybody, hold hands.
Hold hands.
I'm getting us out of here.
We're medevacing out of this place. Poof, poof. Start healing them.
That's when you just hope you don't have party members like webbed to trees all around the area.
Well,
Shush, Eldunk.
that's not the biggest problem. Currently, the spell, I can only transport 5 people.
Ooh.
So I'm hoping Jesse will be a little loose with the rule and at least let me transport the party as a whole.
Oh, man. Well, that is a good opportunity for us to take a break. The time has flown by, but we have been going for over an hour and a half already.
Oh, man.
And we deserve an air-conditioned break and a refresh on the beers. So let me kick this to the wide shot, and then we are going to do our usual thing. Oh, that's why the chat box was smaller.
We'll fix that.
We will get that just a little. Yeah, we got to figure out a box for that to go in. Probably be down there. Anyway, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be back in 10 or 15 minutes to keep going. Catch you all in a moment.
See you.
Wasn't it? It really was. But
And we're back. Hey, everyone.
Thank you for waiting.
All right. Keep going for another hour and a bit. We're going to do a proper cheers now. Here we go. Cheers. It's weird. I'm not supposed to talk. It's weird, though. It's super weird. I don't like it.
I loved it. Staring deep into your eyes.
All right, here we go. Getting back into it.
All right.
So I now face a quandary. I don't know what my next approach is. I think Here's an issue that I'm running into on this model that I have not run into on previous models I have painted.
Yes.
I am constantly rubbing the paint off wherever I'm holding it.
Yes, I've.
And I can't glue it to use the base as a holding stand because then I'm going to paint on the clear base, which I want to avoid.
Right.
And I don't have something else to really, although...
Trying to think. My box of goodies over here. Seeing if I had my other paint brushes, which I think I didn't bring because I'm a goof. But I was thinking maybe you could just shove another paintbrush where the stand would be and essentially use that as a holder.
Yeah, it just would be so, like, jiggly.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I wonder if...
I'm going to continue painting mine green.
You keep painting yours. That's perfect.
I will keep going green because that's what I gotta do. Luckily, the furnace is so nice and warm, it dried up the paint very nicely.
That is true. This is definitely a thing.
As we intended it, for
Yes.
sure. We did not plan for this.
That was deliberate. That was deliberate.
So we've talked a lot about tabletop games and everything like that. Let's kind of dive in a little bit more to video games. Are you playing any games lately?
I have not been able to touch video games other than Rocksmith, which is not really a video game, in a very long time. What do you like to play normally?
Well, funny that you ask. I just picked up Final Fantasy VII Remake yesterday.
Ooh,
And I've been playing that for, I think I'm 6 hours in now.
fantastic.
And I'm loving it.
I cannot wait to get that. I don't have a PS4.
Yeah.
So that's a big deterrent for me personally.
Well, as a avid Final Fantasy VII fan, I'm loving it so far.
I loved that game so friggin' much.
Yes, it was so well done, in
And
my opinion.
I've seen a lot of complaints about the remake. Some
Yes.
of which I think are totally entirely valid. Like, if people don't, I know that the end of this game is not the end of the whole Final Fantasy VII experience.
Yes.
And I understand if people are disappointed about that, although I think it's understandable that you can't have a game look that good and, you know, produce as much content as the original one did and sell it for just $60. But okay, I get that. I get how much do you know about the ending? Are you spoiled on the ending already?
I haven't, but go right ahead. I'm not one of those people that freak out over spoilers.
Okay. So the ending of the remake goes very far afield from the original game.
Spoiler alerts for those who are.
Yeah. Very, very far afield. And I got spoiled on what that was intentionally. You know, I was like, no, I want to know what they changed.
Yeah.
And I can understand why people would be like, no, I just wanted it to be like the original game. I like what they've done with it. You know, not having experienced it personally, but I'm like, oh no, that sounds cool. I'm on board with this.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've put in about 6 hours now.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the storyline of the original, I haven't even done the second reactor yet.
Right.
But yet I've done a bunch of side quests. What I love about it is you find out so much more about like Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge.
Right.
Like, I feel like in the original, unless you did your own research, you didn't know much about these characters.
Right.
But I've already met Jesse's parents.
Right.
And that's amazing to me to find out more about these other characters that were in the world originally that were just there.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, I'm a person, I'm doing a thing, and I'm gone.
They were hardcore NPCs.
Yes. Now I get to know a lot more about who they are, and the voice acting is so well done that it really brings it to life a lot more. The thing I will say when it comes to the voice acting, did you ever see the Advent Children movie?
Yes.
I wish they used the same actors. I get the industry of it.
Yeah.
But I really like those ones. Not that I have a problem with who voices them right now in the game.
Right.
But I kind of grew attached to some of the voice acting in the movie.
Totally.
So, but
I can see that.
But yeah, I love it. I think what they did for the combat is very well done.
Yeah.
where it feels challenging, but at the same time the pace is fast enough where you really feel like I'm fighting as
Right.
Cloud. So
That's cool.
yeah,
The things that people, there are other complaints that I've heard from people that I'm just like, huh? Like, people have complained about the voice acting. And every clip that I've seen of the game, every conversation that I've seen and everything, I'm just like, what are you talking about?
yeah. No, I love the voice actors in it, and they did a very good job.
Right.
You know, like I said, I kind of liked who was doing it in the movie.
Right.
I get the industry. You know, you can't. You know, always it's not always the same person doing Batman or
Yes.
Superman. But I do like these guys, the crew that they got.
Yeah.
Like Tifa's voice is very well done. Even Eris
Yeah.
is just. I fell in love with her the moment she gave me a flower.
Yeah.
And I cried a little bit because I know exactly what happens to her.
Yep.
So yeah, that was.
Spoilers for a 30-year-old video game.
Yeah, I guess we can say that. You know, it's not like it's a meme trope or kind of nerd.
Universally known thing, and yeah.
Yeah.
But the voice actor for Aerith is friggin' adorable. She's on
Oh.
Twitter, and I follow her on Twitter, and she's posted clips of herself playing the game. And as a voice actor, you go into the booth and you say your things, and you don't have any other interaction with the game until it's out.
Yeah.
So when she saw herself, she started sobbing.
Mm-hmm.
She was sobbing because she was like, they did so
Oh.
good. And she's just been sitting on this thing that she did months and months and months ago, and she finally gets to see it now. Anyway, I highly suggest, I don't remember her name, even though I follow her on Twitter, I highly suggest going and finding Aerith's voice actor, and yeah, a good, sounds correct-ish.
I was actually because I was gonna look up the IMDb for it earlier today, but I got distracted with other things. Because I think I recognize one of the voices as like an actor in like film and TV for Wedge, but I cannot place the name. I think he's one of the guys from Silicon Valley.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it sounds really close to him.
Yeah.
You know, it may not be him, but to me, I hear it.
Don't
and I go,
quote you.
Yeah, don't quote me. Never quote me. Never do that. But it sounds so much like him. I can see his face. Don't know the actor's name because I'm horrible with names.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me knows I'm really bad with names. I remember faces, but yeah, yep, that's him. I was right. Yep. Great. I mean, his voice fits him perfectly. And you also do side quests with them. So I feel like it gives those characters more, once again, more story, more kind of placements in the game.
Totally.
So
That's really cool. I definitely want to play it. Again, I do not have a PS4, so my ability to do so is sort of limited.
yeah, you know, that only slightly hurts our relationship, but we'll move past it together.
As long as you get a PS5 when that comes out, it'll all be good.
That's what that's my next intended console
Yeah.
purchase. We'll see how it goes. Angus, could I get that Null Oil?
Maybe we can get Angus on stream for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And it. Oh, it's just. His
Oh,
hand.
we didn't even get the hand, I don't think.
There we go.
Hey!
Yeah. Director extraordinaire Angus on the team here.
So if you are a miniatures painter, if you like doing it at all, Nuln Oil is it's so good. It's really, really good. It's useful for so many things. One of them being shading. What do you call it? It's a very versatile shader. So you can use it on things like metal, but also on more organic textures. And right now, we're going to just generously slather it over the entire model, the whole damn thing. And this is that other side of things from dry brushing that I was talking about before.
Yeah.
Is you dry brush and then you ink wash, and you get a wonderful contrast.
Oh wow.
As this sinks into all of your,
Little
and
nooks and
while
cranny there.
it's sinking into the nooks and crannies, it's also toning down your highlights a little bit. like it's going to be on those raised areas, but just not as much. So it unifies the whole thing while providing shading. And so that means that you can go pretty extreme on your highlights if you know that you're going to be doing an ink wash afterwards. Oh, see how it's just like outlining each scale?
Yeah.
Nuln Oil, it's just like you can get away with a lot of lesser quality paints and craft paints and all that sort of stuff if you just shell out a little bit for Nuln Oil, because it is just such a versatile shader. Where are we at on Green Boy?
We're doing quite well. I've got most of the body and the tail done. I'm kind of trying to get the little nooks and crannies because they're bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
I know it doesn't stick out as much, but it does to me.
Totally.
I'm a little hesitant to go to the wings yet because I'm not really sure what I want to do.
Understand that.
But I'm getting a bulk of it done. Might even get a good stopping point, hand her over to you, and see how the people think.
Cool.
Hopefully they don't judge me too harsh.
Yeah, if we want to put them on stream real quick, I can do that.
Let me just get that down there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got most of that. Oh, yeah, you betcha.
Oh, don't you know, eh?
You got most of that base coat on. Oh, he's so
Oh,
cool.
wow.
There's the boy.
It's coming together quite nice. I like it.
He bitey.
Yeah.
He poison. He horny.
Oh, I see what you did there. He's on the mark, folks. So that means puns are okay now, right?
I regret my decision immediately.
I get the point. So yeah, I've just been playing a lot of Final Fantasy lately because I got that. I've also been playing StarCraft 2.
Oh, nice.
So that's been fun. They have a co-op thing.
Yeah?
And me and a buddy of mine, we play the co-op option. You have like you have a general.
Yeah.
And they have like units specific towards that general. And it gives you like different objections. Like there's one where there's teleportation circles essentially that you have to protect from incoming transport ships.
Sure.
And you can be like Zerg, Protoss, or the humans. There's one that I've been loving playing that instead of building units, you have mercenaries.
Okay.
So you have like the named PCs that are in the game, like the big boys, like Tyrus, I think is the name.
Tychus?
Tychus,
Yeah.
yes. You can Tychus, and there's a medic that's with him. And I like playing that one because it's a lot less like unit management kind of stuff.
Totally.
And you're just focusing on a few core individuals, and you just keep boosting their stuff.
That's awesome.
So I've been having a lot of fun with that one. And you level up, and as you level up that general, you get certain benefits and bonuses, which is really fun to do.
So I'm a big fan of certain types of online multiplayer games. So the game that I've probably clocked more time on than any other game in my life is Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love Heroes,
Yeah.
and I was so sad when Blizzard killed the esports scene for it. But yeah, I just haven't gotten to play. But now we actually just this past holiday, got the kids their own computers. Mm-hmm. And so I installed it on their computers, and they've been playing a little bit. And like we could actually form like a little team and have like some team coordination, because that's the thing about games like that is you really want a good team. Mm-hmm. And if you're just randomly joining groups, your experience is not likely to be rewarding always.
Yeah, I've been getting that. I've also been playing Apex Legends with
Oh,
some
okay.
friends. And it is really nice when it's like all three of you are friends, you know each other, you're on the same TeamSpeak line, and you can just kind of go at it and have a good time with it.
Exactly.
And we've actually won a few matches, surprisingly enough.
Hell yeah.
So,
yeah, and that's the thing too, is when you get on with a coordinated group, most people are just joining up with whatever randos.
yeah.
And so you have an advantage, and just speaking honestly, winning feels good.
Yeah, it really does. And it's helpful because we know how each other play. We generally play the same people. No surprise, I play a medic.
Oh, you do? What?
Yeah, shocking.
So strange.
I know. Well, I used to. Do you follow the game at all?
No, I know very little about it.
There's a couple like support classes I like playing. Lifeline, she has her little drone that heals people. Plus, the drone can revive others. But my personal favorite is Loba.
Okay.
She has what's called Black Market. She has this staff, and she'll jam it into the ground, and it sends out an area effect where all of like the loot, the guns, the ammo, you can just pick it from the staff versus running around and trying to find it.
Nice.
So I've been loving doing that, and she's kind of my fave right now.
That's excellent.
Unfortunately, they nerfed her, so I'm a little upset.
That's how they do.
But yeah, I for fair game, I totally get it. She was really powerful there, and she needed to kind of be reeled in a little bit more.
Yeah.
But quite fun nonetheless.
I should give that a shot sometime. But also, I've spent so much time on Heroes that I'm just like, as long as I can still play it, I may as well just kind of stick with the game that I know and love. And
yeah, and if it's fun for you, it's fun for you. Who cares if it's an esports popular game or
exactly.
whatever.
I mean, I was never playing esports,
Yeah.
but I was watching the shit out of them.
Yeah, those guys and gals on esports games are insanely good.
It's not like I don't even understand.
It's like, oh, I'm pretty good at this game, and then you watch them for half an hour, and you're like, what the heck am I doing with my life? Like, they're insane.
I've never been as good at anything as these people are at this video game.
The trick is to go into a house with like 4 other players playing the same game, doing nothing but that for 16 hours a day.
Right.
From the time you're like 15.
And that's what they do.
Yeah, and I would love that, but I keep having to do this adulting thing and working.
Right?
Yeah, it just keeps getting in the way.
Yeah.
I wish I could just stop that, but I don't think it's an option.
No.
It wasn't in the contract I signed to be an adult.
There's a reason you're considered old in the esports scene if you're even 25.
Right.
Oh, don't say that.
The grizzled veteran.
Oh, don't say grizzled veteran at 25. That was years ago for me at this point.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you're still considered very young in film, specifically behind the scenes if you're in your 30s.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You have a lot of, most of the people who are, especially the people who are in charge, are usually in their late 40s and 50s. Producers, directors of photography and everything like that. And they're just like managing crews of what to them are kids, but to the crew is, a bunch of people in their 30s. Like, no, we're adults. It's like, yeah, sure.
So the film and TV industry, here I come.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a way.
Yeah, well, technically, yeah. It was a whole new world for me, folks. I am not a professional by any imagination of the word, for sure. I think this is probably the first time I've ever been filmed on the internet.
Really?
Legally. But
Oh,
that's a different
no.
No, I don't think I've ever done any kind of streaming or online stuff. So
It is a wide world.
it is.
So one of my favorite YouTubers, a guy named Hank Green, just put out a couple of books
Dramatic pause.
that are more or less about being famous on the internet. They're sci-fi novels, so they're about more than that, but the main characters all happen to have stumbled into internet fame and have a lot of online influence, which is, a life experience that Hank himself has had.
Right.
So, it is very interesting seeing his take as somebody who is very big on the internet,
Right.
on like the pitfalls of putting too much of your own sense of self-worth in the opinions of strangers on the internet. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, that is a very fair point, because the internet can be very rough.
Yes. Yes.
We'll be nice and say rough.
Yeah.
And and I feel like we're going through this new thing where a lot of people are becoming quite famous through the internet.
Yeah.
And I mean, people that you would never see in TV and film are quite big stars online.
Exactly.
And it's kind of nice, to be honest with you. I feel like it humanizes them a lot more.
It does. There's the other side of it, though, which is that it makes people feel like they know these people a lot more, when they don't. They are still factually, strangers.
Yeah.
And it often makes them feel a sense of ownership over online creators that they don't feel over movie stars.
Right.
And so it creates this weird relationship where they're like, you know, kind of making these like demands on YouTubers and Twitch streamers and everything like that. And they're like, you know, hey, have you ever asked Keanu Reeves to do this? And it's like, no, he's Keanu Reeves. And it's like, right, he's somebody you don't know, who you enjoy watching on a screen. That's what I am. Like, please don't. I'm not your like. I like you. I like having you here, but I'm not your buddy. I'm not gonna help you come move a couch or a piano.
Why'd you bring that up again? Oh, my arms hurt for days after that one.
I
Not
can
to make you
imagine.
feel bad.
No.
But I was proud of myself because I was so focused on not hurting my back.
Yeah.
That my just forearms were on fire for days. And I was like, cool. I can walk. My back doesn't hurt. I accomplished what I was going for. And you got an amazing piano out of it.
I got a piano, and I have now been learning that every day. I've been practicing, and it's been really nice. I love music. You know, there's a common saying, and I don't know how true it is for everybody, but I will be the first to admit it's true for me. Every writer only became a writer because they decided they couldn't become a rock star. Like, every writer would take the opportunity to be a rock star if they could, but they didn't. And like, for me, fuck yeah, like, I love getting on stage and singing and performing for people and everything, but like, I just never really saw that as being in my cards. But like, learning how to actually play music now, I'm like, shit, dude, I want to put together a couple of songs and just like toss them out there, and you know, not ever try to turn it into a career necessarily, but like,
Yeah.
just put some musical creativity out in the world. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would like to try and do stuff like that. I don't have the self-confidence yet to be like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Like, I come up with silly little songs and poems and whatnot here and there, and it'd be nice to be able to put it out somewhere, but I just don't think I have the ability yet. So
Yeah, it's a tough one.
it is a tough one for me, for some individuals like myself, for sure.
And it's a matter of practice, and then again, time. You
Yeah.
know, like, if you're doing it, then you're not doing something else, and so you have to pick what you really want to spend that time on.
That is very true.
Oh, this is looking so cool.
Yeah, your dragon is looking amazing. I am really jealous.
That oil is so awesome.
It totally changed the wings.
Yep. Trying not to wipe the oil off as we place this now, but I may have to do a little bit of this action.
Oh, now we hit the part where we need to start making decisions about the wings. And the horn. I'm not sure what to do on the horn either. Should I just go with the same green?
I say on the horn, I would go for bone, because you want, you're definitely going to want the teeth to be that sort of bony texture.
Right.
And when you've got the whole head and you've got the teeth going out like that, the horn being bone as well is going to focus everything in this sort of triangular
Right.
shape, like an angle coming towards the snout, and it's going to focus attention on the face.
So let's see, what do we have here that would be a good bone?
On bones, what I generally recommend is that you start with a medium-ish brown, and I've got something in here. Oh, here we go. Mornfang brown. So I recommend starting with that, and then painting the whole thing like a khaki color, but leaving the deepest recesses and cracks still that dark brown, and just like that high contrast in the recesses. And then you either dry brush or paint on some highlights in white, in progressively lighter shades of white.
Do that then.
Let me see here.
Just keep finding little white spots everywhere on the body, and I just want to get those covered up.
Yeah, understandable.
I want to get a good layer on so that way when it dries, I can look at it and determine what I need to do. It's looking good so far.
So there's a couple different approaches people take to wings. This is one, which is sort of the same deal I'm going for.
Ah, yes. That kind of lighter shade.
But then there's also it's just part of the dragon.
Right.
And it just maintains the same color.
I like the vines on that first one. That was really cool. Actually.
Oh, like
Like the greenery on it.
Right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty
It kind of reminds me of when I did the Shambling Mound here with the mushrooms. I wanted to really kind of accent the mushrooms so they stand
Oh, let's
out
bring
as
that in
well.
here, actually. This is a pretty cool model.
I did that one for the Curse of Strahd the Curse of Strahd book I'm running. It didn't have any eyeball like paintings on it on the model.
Yeah.
So I just put streaks of black on it and
Yeah.
then just added little red spots. So it
I love
looked like
that.
eyes. And it kind of gives it this like goofy smile on it, which I kind of like. I was happy with that one.
So this is. I'm gonna have to leave this. I'm gonna have to leave this to dry. So I'm probably gonna stop work. Oh, I missed a little bit. Probably gonna stop working on this for the rest of this stream and do some terrain like Harry was trying to command me to do. But
I don't have to smack him now.
it's made it's made things a little darker than I would like, and so probably my next step is going to be dry brushing the scales with a red/orange again. Speaking of which, while it's on this stand, I should paint it. Paint the legs that I was holding on to. Just to bring back some of the vibrancy of the color. I really like the black contrast, and it makes it look very like lava, which I'm going to be incorporating into the base, like that sort of lava rock instead of brown sand or dirt or anything like that. But it's killed the highlights more than I wanted it to. So once the oil dries, I will get in there.
Now, when the oil's dry, is it a chance that it'll light up a lot more? Or
No,
it's,
not
that's
so much.
pretty much what it's going to be?
It's going to look a little better than this, a little less dark, but you can see that the wings are practically dry. They're basically done,
Yeah.
and they're pretty dark.
It's pretty dark stuff over there.
Technically, it's pretty dark. You watch Critical Role, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I started playing. I got interested in it a little bit before I started watching it, but they definitely were like the catalyst that made me go, "Wow, this looks fun. I'd like to give this a try." And yeah, I just kind of went from there.
Yeah. I kept hearing about them, and it was getting a bunch of my friends into D&D. And so I went and I got the starter set and I started playing with my kids. And 5th edition was like so great, especially for playing with your kids. Like, there is no better edition of Dungeons and Dragons, in my opinion, for playing with your children, because the rules are just simple.
Yes.
And they require a lot less. Hey, thanks for the follow, Doghouse Minis. Sounds like somebody else who paints minis. But yeah, it's just such a great system for that. And so then I was like, okay, I should start watching this. And I remember pulling up the first video, and it was like 4 hours long, and I was like, are you kidding me? And there's like 100 some odd no! And I resisted, and then they started campaign 2. And I was just like, God, you know what? I keep saying that I started playing D&D last year, but I started playing in 2018. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's sense of time is screwed these days, but
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about that. But yeah, and so that was, and then finally I started watching them, and it was just amazing.
I mean, I can honestly say I started watching the first campaign, and I think I was only like 40 episodes behind when I started watching them, and it didn't take me long to get caught up.
Yeah.
I really got addicted.
Yeah.
I would knock out 2 episodes a day.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, just.
Oh, jeez.
And I, at the time, I was working for a resort and at night doing kind of night audit stuff.
Sure.
And so I would just have my laptop up, just playing it as I'm doing my job, and just episode. I would also like drive an hour to work.
Yeah.
So the hour there, hour back, that's 2 hours. I can knock out half an episode in that time frame. And it just made the drive so much easier.
Totally.
And I mean, D&D, visually it's really nice to look at with the minis and everything else like that. But Theater of the Mind is just as good, as in my opinion.
Especially when you're talking about Critical Role, where there's so much role play,
Yep.
and they're voice actors, like, you know, and that's one thing that like we have been talking about for our stream since day one.
Yes.
We're not voice. I mean, I am technically a voice actor, but like also I'm going to be playing one single character, so I hope you like her voice because that's what you're getting.
Yeah. The rest of us are not.
Well, I mean, Jesse and Nolan have some experience, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, basically you should not be expecting that, but they're just real good at it.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, I think that although I agree that it's great to listen to, and I listen to a bunch of it, watching them at that table
Yeah,
is an amazing thing.
yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%.
So what Angus is saying is that like watching the show as opposed to like just listening is great, and they are great voice actors, but watching the show like brings a whole nother level of awesome to it, and I think you're totally correct, Angus.
We're gonna have to give you a mic.
I know, right? We need to like run another little another Yeti over there.
Next time I'm on here, you're getting a mic. You're gonna be in the conversations too. But yeah, it is very true that, I mean, I think it's their love of it.
Yeah,
It's just so infectious when you see the joy and the happiness that they get out of it, the emotion that's in it, that it's infectious.
Yeah.
You just feel it like they do.
right.
And so it's hard to beat that sometimes.
I mean, so much of Travis's contribution to the thing is leaning way forward with a huge grin on his face. He's so excited about what's happening.
Totally.
I haven't finished it, but I just started watching the last one that they
The most
because
recent?
I never get to watch them live. I'm always working,
Right.
and so I always watch the video later. And yeah, it's they just suck you right in with how intense it is, and it's like, oh my gosh, we got to get here and do this. And it does remind me of our game a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not all professional actors, but I feel like we do quite well.
Yeah. We definitely we role play,
Yes.
and we are very invested in our role play.
Yes, we spend a lot of time role playing when we should probably be doing other things, but we're happy, we're good.
I'm totally happy with what we do.
Yeah.
Now I need to figure out.
Your body floating atop the heated ocean and gentle waves.
You got
Maybe I
minis
just-
for days.
I got minis for days. Maybe
You were just talking about that owlbear
Yeah.
that you needed to finish.
yeah. Let's bring in the owlbear.
I was loving your owlbear. Let's do the owlbear. Just wanted to check in, make sure no one was chatting at us, and we're too busy painting to see.
Keep an eye on it.
I appreciate that, brother.
As opposed to the mountainside, you're looking
Only
at
13 more episodes and I'll be caught up.
Oh, really? 13 episodes. So you're... What's going on, right? Or,
Probably don't want to say.
yeah. We won't spoil. We'll talk other stuff.
and you see something. Is it clouders?
That is a very good owlbear. I love
I like it a lot. So I need to go back over these eyebrows. They're not quite as prominent as I wanted them to be.
Not big old bushy eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
I had a cleric with big bushy eyebrows and a big old mustache.
Nice.
I miss him. Richard Lionheart.
Wait, you have a cleric?
Yeah. I do play a cleric every once in a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they come in handy. Every party should think about having a cleric.
Too bad we don't have one.
Brother, you're asking for it. You have the most doctory cleric you could ever have. And I love playing him. He's so much fun.
I was talking about for the stream.
Oh, for the stream? That's going to be weird. It's going to be really weird. I don't have cure wounds. I don't know what to do with myself.
I'm very excited.
I can kill stuff, though. Quite well.
Uh-huh.
Very, very well.
I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be a trip trying to figure everything out.
I bought the spell cards the other day for it in preparation.
Uh-huh.
And I've started sifting through them, and I think I have up to 3rd level spells figured out in my mind.
Good.
And I even had to make a change because I decided I wanted a feat instead of... I've been changing which feats I want to get. Because I usually go for just like the stat boost,
Uh-huh.
but I'm kind of forcing myself this time to go feats for mixing up the play style and kind of opening up horizons to new things instead of no, I'm more just better at what I do.
I'm thinking about the same thing. I really want some feats, and I am so torn by the fact that I think I should just take an ability score.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want those feats so bad.
Oh, there's just some super nice ones.
Yeah.
But at the same token, especially like when you're spell casting, it's so nice to have your DC go up or the amount of spells you can have go up.
Exactly.
It's hard
That's
to give it
huge.
away. It's ugh.
Now I know for a fact, at level 4, I'm taking a feat.
Yeah.
I like there's no option for me at level 4. But beyond that, then I'm like,
You can get away with a little bit more.
yeah, because there's other feats that I really, really want, but they're more negotiable, and it'd be real nice. It'd be real nice to get some of those stats a little higher.
I have 3 feats in my mind that I want to get, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm not getting stat boosted anytime soon.
Right.
And I know feats have like, oh, you get a +1 here and a +1 there.
Those don't do anything for
Yeah,
me.
it's like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. It's 1 point higher, but it's not going to increase my modifier at all.
Exactly.
I need to kind of brush some of this brown off so it's not as heavy.
A little less heavy in the group, y'all. With the dragons, we're going to go light. I should probably be doing like a Bob Ross voice, shouldn't I? If I could do it.
These are just happy little dragons.
I'm just going to paint a happy little dragon here. And it's going to be a little bush. A little happy bush. If you tell anybody it's there, I'll kill you. I was amazed to find out he was in the military.
Really?
Yeah, Bob Ross is Army or Marines. Don't quote me, but I know he was in the military branch of some sort.
That is about as far from what I think of when I think of Bob Ross as I can imagine.
Yeah, he didn't do a lot of interviews.
Right.
And I saw something where it wasn't that he didn't want to do interviews. Nobody asked.
Yeah. A lot of people kind of forget this, but like he wasn't actually that big, especially when he was actively doing what he was doing. It was like sort of this thing that sprang up later.
Yeah. And it's really nice because he made some amazing paintings and he did a lot of good work.
Yeah.
So it's nice that he gets some recognition. It would have been better if he got it while he was around,
Right.
but at least he does get the recognition he deserves.
Right.
I was shopping around yesterday and I noticed he had socks. With
Bob
his
Ross
face.
socks?
Bob Ross socks.
That's amazing.
I thought about getting them. It's hard to spend $15 on a single pair of socks. It's a tough buy.
Yeah.
Now,
Another thing that's really cool about him, he didn't make any money from the show. He earned his whole living from from a line of paints that he sold and from private painting lessons. And
Interesting.
it never became a big thing for him. It was never a big source of income or anything like that.
he just loved painting,
Yeah.
and he just did it. And he was wicked good at it.
It really was.
Oh, that's not what we're not doing. We're not whipping our paintbrushes against the legs of the table. And I'm doing brown now, so you would never notice I did it. The green would stick out.
It carries the blessing of the fiercest full moon and stars at night. Recover
Always the nooks and crannies that are hard for me to do.
They can be rough.
That's why I'm really glad I got some really fine paintbrushes, like really fine hair ones.
Yeah.
So I can just sneak in there, doesn't cause a lot of destruction.
For this one, I think I'm actually going to go with I'm going to go for another... Maybe I'll do that after. I'm going to get in on some of these details. I'm going to steal some brown.
Where the hell? I might be done with the brown here in a second. Just trying to make me bring it. Are you big into comic books or comic book heroes kind of stuff, Garrett?
I have always been a hardcore Spidey fan. I have more Spider-Man comics than anything else in my collection. I was also crazy into the new Avengers. That is one of the best runs that I've ever seen, and it led right into, Civil War and Secret Invasion, and like just, frankly, like a really, really good time for comics. Not a sustainable one, unfortunately, as many people have talked about. And I know there are plenty of people who don't like those arcs, and they can be wrong. That's fine. But
Your opinions are opinions. They're not valid, but
yeah, they don't like matter or make any sense. But you're allowed to have them.
what's the saying? Opinions are like assholes.
Yeah.
Everybody has them, but no one wants to hear them.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was a big one for me. Never been a big DC guy in any respect, really. I will see occasional DC comics that I like and enjoy, but I'm all about Marvel, and in particular Spider-Man.
And I like Spider-Man, and I like Marvel stuff too. Don't get me wrong; it's definitely a good. They did very well.
Yeah,
they did very well, which is great for them. Unfortunately, I find myself being more of a DC guy,
right?
Which is hard for me because when you look at the new cinematic movies out, DC did not do as well as Marvel.
No.
And, I got to give Marvel credit where credit is due. They did a fantastic job. They got great actors and actresses, and they killed it.
Yeah.
I would love to see more DC movies.
Yeah.
I don't know how likely that's going to be.
Well, I mean, I honestly am more hopeful for DC than I used to be. Like, no offense to him as a person, but now that Zack Snyder's gone, I have enjoyed their projects a lot more. Like, Aquaman wasn't what I would call good.
Right.
But it was really fun, and that's fine. I can just have a really fun, silly superhero movie.
Yeah.
That's totally okay.
And I feel... I didn't watch it. I've seen clips of it. Shazam?
Shazam is amazing. It's so good.
I have yet to see it, and it's because I feel like they went goofy when I wanted to see more serious.
It is goofy, and it also has moments that are way darker than Snyder stuff.
Really?
Which is like, Snyder stuff is too dark for me, but it's like all the time.
Right.
But Shazam is like, oh my god, this kid has superpowers. Haha, this is hilarious. By the way, I'm going to rip out your heart now. And you're like, I was having fun 5 seconds ago. Why are you doing this? It's really good.
I will say, I think, for me at least, the saving grace for the DC, have you seen their new animated movies? They're not like super, love them.
100%.
100% love them. I think one of these days, in the next couple days, I want to watch the Atlantis one. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
Oh, but I've seen clips of it because I'm always on YouTube watching those clips.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks so good.
Totally.
Oh, and I wish that was more of like what they published in movie theaters.
Right.
Fell in love with that, and it's great. So
yeah,
DC.
animated's been holding it up for a good long while.
Killing it in the animated department.
And Wonder Woman's good.
Oh, I loved Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. She Gal Gadot, I think I said that right.
Yeah.
She did a fantastic job. She fits the role very well. It was just very well done, and I love it.
100%.
Aquaman, it was good.
Yeah. And again, like, if Aquaman was like the baseline, if that's like the worst DC movie that you get, well then fine. I'm on board for the DCEU. I want good Batman and Superman movies.
Yes.
But I just haven't gotten any that I really connected with in a while.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's like Henry Cavalier, right? Is it
Cavill, yeah.
Cavill, yeah. He's a great Superman. I think he has the right body for it. I think he has the right kind of aura about him where
Right.
I really feel like he is a Superman.
Right.
It's difficult when it comes to Batman, though, because there's been so many Batmans.
Yeah.
And it's hard to figure out, like, who's the Batman that's going to be in this Justice League.
Right.
So, we had Ben Affleck. He was pretty good.
I also feel like me personally, I feel like Henry Cavill wasn't given the Superman he wanted to play.
Right.
And he didn't totally feel on board the whole time, even though he had the right, like you said, fit and look and everything like that. But he didn't seem to be enjoying himself all that much. And like, Superman should be fun. Superman should be enjoying himself and whatnot. Even when, you know, like, bad things can happen to him, but the actor should be, you know. And for me, what was the transformation? Because after his Superman movies, I was like, I don't know if Henry Cavill's like honestly that good. And then he did Witcher, and he was given a character that he clearly loved so much, and I was like, he's great.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
He is action movie hero, superhero material 100%. And when you give him a project that he's like, no, this is awesome,
Yeah.
then he just gives it everything he's got.
Well, and I read about how he was doing like the dehydration therapy
Right.
for the muscle toning in some of the shots.
Yeah.
And that's dedication.
Yeah.
Like to dehydrate your body over days to make it sit better on muscle tone.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good on you, mate. Good on
Yeah.
you for that. I don't know how well I would do in that aspect.
Right, exactly. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's not actually that healthy, so it's not like something that you necessarily want to promote, but for these very controlled environments where they're doing it for a specific aesthetic purpose, boy, he really went for it, man.
Yeah, I understand that quite well. I had a fun idea. We're talking about doing photo shoots for our characters for this upcoming campaign, and I had an interesting idea that I kind of wanted to do. It's a little bit dangerous.
Uh-oh.
I would like to do a photo where I'm holding fire in my hand.
Can we just CGI it? Can we just CGI it, please?
I mean, we can, but couldn't we also, like, appropriately light my hand on fire, take a couple photos, and put it out?
I'm not sure if we could based on the insurance of the space.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and veto that one.
Dang it.
Yeah, sorry for now. Appreciate the dedication.
I just thought it'd be kind of cool to, like, have the flame, like, color and, like, licking off of my fingertips like I'm holding an actual firebolt. But
Anybody wants to take responsibility for that.
well, I wasn't gonna let people take responsibility. I was like, hey, this is my idea. Can I do it?
Yeah, but somebody's got to be behind the camera pushing the button.
Yeah, that is true. I was just like, oh, that'd be so cool. Like, I'm just standing there and, like, there's flames in my hand and everything. I know Photoshop and CGI exist. We can do it that way too.
That's what we're gonna do. It's fine. It's cool though. It's gonna look great. You're gonna love it.
We're gonna do it the safe way.
Also, now I've learned something about your character.
Oh, that's my little secret. That's my little secret. I know Firebolt.
I don't mind sussing out details that way, actually.
Yeah.
I feel okay about that one.
Yeah. Not like I told you anything major.
Right.
You know, I'm painting this on, and I'm hoping I'm doing this right.
Okay. What do you do? What's...
So I did the brown, and then you wanted me to use this kind of.
Right. So I went with that, and you can actually see sort of what I did, where I painted the whole thing khaki, but I leave like brown just at the base.
Okay.
See, so
So I'm not too far off of that realm.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, see, I wouldn't even layer it up necessarily. I'd go straight in with the khaki, and I'd paint it all the way down to... So see how there's just like a thin strip of brown at the base? So just paint it all the way up to that level, and then it's sort of like the sort of like base of the horn.
Gotcha.
And whatnot.
I think it'd be called a quick. I don't know.
Sure.
For horn terminology.
Yeah.
If we have any zoologists in chat that could tell me, that'd be cool.
Jesse's actually apparently studying biology in college because he doesn't have enough things going on in his life.
That man is incredible. I don't know where he has the time or the energy.
I know.
He's just constantly going.
It's fantastic. He was talking to me about biology today, about what he's studying in class right now, and I feel like I understood most of it.
Yeah.
But boy, it's he's a dedicated man.
When I was in college for a little bit when I was a younger man, and I loved biology. I loved anatomy and physiology. It was how the human body and how animals' bodies works is quite fascinating to me. So I think that's the one thing I miss about not being in school is learning different cool things about animals and people in general.
Yeah.
I don't miss the homework or tests though.
Right.
I can go quite a long time without that, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, I do love the learning process in general, and I'm always trying to find new things that I can study and apply myself to understand the world a little bit better.
Yeah.
Which is one thing writing is great for, because you're like, hey, how does this thing work for my story that I want to do? And then you just spend an hour and a half on Wikipedia, and you're actually working. It's pretty great.
See, I think that's one of the things I fell in love with Dungeons and Dragons for is everything
Yes.
has so much deep lore.
Yes.
Like once you think, oh, I know everything about orcs or whatnot, they come out with a book and it's, oh, I didn't know squat. Like I need to re-up my game. And honestly, that's what I love playing as Jesse as our DM. I feel like I have to up my DM game because of him. Because
Right.
he knows so much and there's so much lore in all of his worlds that I'm like, man, I need to up my game so much.
Good DMs make their players better DMs.
Yeah.
Because you have somebody to learn from. And, that's where the Matthew Mercer effect comes from. And, of course, the Matthew Mercer effect has been talked to death everywhere. But for me, it's not entirely a bad thing.
No.
It's like, not everybody should be trying to be exactly like Matthew Mercer. But when you're starting out, and if you're not trying to be, just trying to be like him is not a bad thing to pursue. And yes, it's annoying if your players, if the other side of things happens and your players are like judging you for not being enough like him.
Yeah.
But like, come on, that's not on you. You know?
No, it's nothing bad can become, in my opinion, from being around people who do something better than you.
Correct.
You can only learn from them. And, I watch, obviously Critical Role and Jesse and a few other streams and DMing online. And I just watch them and I try and absorb as much as I can.
Right.
The better I can be because of learning from them, the better. So.
Yeah. Somebody, something I heard a long time ago that I've always believed is somebody else being stronger doesn't make you weaker. And that also applies to skill. Just because somebody else is really good at something and, like you shouldn't avoid or reject it because you're afraid it makes you weaker or worse at what you do. It just is an opportunity to learn.
Yeah. And I can definitely say that's tough to do sometimes because you're frustrated with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
But once you can get over your own insecurities with whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
you can grow from it.
Do you know that quote by Ira Glass about the gap?
I don't think I can. Not off the top of my head. No. What is it?
He's talking about learning something, and he's referring. I don't remember what he's referring to specifically in the talk, but it applies to art. It applies to lots of other things. And he says you should go and you should pursue the things that you love and pursue them with a passion and learn them and get better at them. But there is this gap. You got into the things you love because you love them, and because you love them and you have so much experience with them, you have very good taste when it comes to that thing.
Right.
And so the things that you create when you are starting out will not be as good as the things that you like, because you like the best things in that field because you're a fan. And you will not be that good without the practice that these people have honed and put in to become as good as they are. And that is the gap that you have to overcome, and most people never get over that gap. They start and they're like, well, I'm not as good as this person, and therefore I'm just not going to keep going because I'm not as good as them.
Right.
Not having seen the thousands of hours and practice and all of the failed attempts that person went through.
Right.
Anyway, it's a really wonderful quote, and it's the sort of thing that like gets printed on motivational posters and everything like that. It's worth looking up. Ira Glass, The Gap, and you'll find it.
I'll have to look up that a little bit later. But I mean, it makes perfect sense for me.
Why can't you do it right now? Hey. Oh shit, Angus is serious.
World's greatest director, Angus. He's gonna look it up for us. I appreciate him. Yeah, but it's very true. Because for me, I remember back when I started like volunteer firefighting. Watching these men and women work in a high stress situation. It was like a ballet. They
Right.
just knew exactly what they do. They worked with each other, and after training for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, I was on some level of theirs.
Yeah.
I will say I still look up to a lot of these men and women who serve so diligently for their communities.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy how just practicing over and over when you start out to where you are today can be vastly different.
Exactly.
So
I think he's not addressing any particular kind of creativity. He's just saying this in general for
It's-
creatives, whether you're a writer or a podcaster or anybody.
Right.
Right.
It was part of a radio interview or a presentation he did. I just couldn't remember but yeah, the quote itself is universal.
yeah, I mean it can be applied anywhere. In all honesty, horns are coming along quite nicely.
Oh no, I did what I didn't want to do.
I actually want to work on the dental structure because I painted the teeth green and it's bugging me. What do we have for a good... Would you do the same coloration for the horn as for the teeth, or would
Yeah.
you go... Okay.
That's what I'd do.
Okay.
Oh wow. Oh man, you're putting so much into that horn. That's great. Like gradually moving it up towards that bone color.
Yeah.
I love it.
I hope it turns out okay. My skill will get better.
Hey Angus, actually, would you show me where that button is for autofocus? Because I think I would like to use it every once in a while. C2? This guy?
Boop.
It is. It worked.
Wow.
I love how the beak came out.
Oh, and the eyebrows. Oh, that's perfect.
Right?
The colorization's amazing.
All right, I'm working on the eyes now. So, and now I can do this. I can make it autofocus there, and then I can hit it, and it turns off, right?
It should, yeah.
Yeah.
We're killing it.
Oh man, we are killing it.
We're professionals.
Okay, this camera's fantastic, Angus. Thank you so much for that.
Once again, big shout out to Angus, our director. He's amazing at what he does.
Mm-hmm. The man, pay all the attention to the man behind the curtain. Mm-hmm. What color do I want his eyes?
You know what? I might skip the mouth and just start working on the wings. We got to start doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I would like him to have some form of color on the wings before we end tonight. I just don't know still. What? Sometimes.
I don't know if I like that. Oh, I like how they colored the face, though. Look at the lighter coloring on the face.
Oh yeah, especially like with the brown circle with the white underneath it. That's really well done.
Maybe I could go for a little bit of...
Treant green, Hex Wrath Flame.
That's what I'm going to do. Okay, we're going to paint over the face, and we're going to be real careful not to touch the beak that I just did and really enjoyed. We're going to go with Citadel's Daemonet Hide. Oh, I can do this
C2.
now. C2. Which is a very nice neutral, sort of light, very gray purple. So it's really good for that purpose. And for the reason that that's important to me now is because it's going to merge a lot better with the neutral grays of the owlbear than the stark purple that I used for the eyebrows, because I want that to stand out. I want the face to merge into the overall look a little more. And then we'll dry brush this with a light gray.
We're gonna paint over it like it never happened.
That's how we do.
We're gonna make it a happy bush.
Just a happy little bush.
A happy little bush. Kind of like this green for the wings. We're gonna wing it and see what happens.
You're gonna wing it. You're gonna wing it. Yes, I see that.
Come on, chat. Tell me I'm doing good with my puns here.
No, don't tell him that.
Let me come back.
Oh.
Let me come back. I like painting. I don't get to do it as much as I used to.
Yeah, you know, going back to the idea of the gap, though, I will say there are things that I will suddenly randomly remember about guitar where I will be playing a song, and it'll be a simple song, and I know that it's not like some amazing technical achievement to be able to play, for example, Knocking on Heaven's Door by Bob Dylan. That's a very simple song. It's very easy to play. Any guitarist should be able to learn it in, you know, like a half hour if they're familiar with their basics. But I remember a time when I couldn't play that song. And I just remember I suddenly have this vivid memory of sitting in my office with my guitar, and I can't do the chord change from D to C or to A minor. And I'm like, yeah, that used to be really hard for me. And it isn't anymore. And that's because I overcame that gap where like that skill suddenly became something that I could just do without thinking about it too hard. It was just like, oh yeah, sure, you do that chord change. I've done it in a billion songs and I can do it easily now.
And I think that's one of the things I like about music in general, especially when you're using an instrument, is I feel like you get quicker satisfaction.
Yes.
Because it's like, I can't play the song right now, and in maybe like a week's time, you can play the song quite well.
Yeah.
If you're really practicing at it. Where with like drawing and painting and art in general, you got to really put in the time and the effort and the skill and technique, and that might take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Granted, you still get that, oh man, look at how good I am from here to here.
Right.
But it might take a little bit longer.
Exactly.
And like I said, I always respect people who have that kind of artistic talent. I have a friend of mine. She does a lot of drawings and paintings, and she's drawn a lot of like dragons for me.
Yeah.
She even drew a griffin I'm gonna get tattooed at some point.
Damn. That's awesome.
Yeah, I want to get a griffin tattoo for my family. My mom's side is griffins, and I wanted it to be more of like a peregrine falcon kind of griffin.
Yeah.
And she morphed the two together. It came out beautiful.
That's amazing.
I still have the artwork ready to go. I just need the time and the loose money to do it.
Right.
Because I love tattoos and I love what people do with them. For me, I have to put them in appropriate places because a lot of the jobs I take don't allow visible tattoos.
Right.
But yeah, I loved what she did, and I'm definitely going to get that sucker on me.
So when you say appropriate places, in another sense, inappropriate places.
Well, so I just heard back from the state of Oregon for that job, and hopefully I'll go back to being a ranger soon, which will be great.
Yay.
But I have to double check my contracts. But like sleeve tattoos, essentially.
Yeah.
It can't be like that.
Yeah.
And not that I have a problem with sleeves. If I won the lottery, I'd probably have a few of them.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pigeonhole myself for jobs just because I wanted to get Homer Simpson on my forearm or something like that.
Right. Exactly.
So that's always been my thing, and I've worked a lot of jobs like law enforcement, firefighting, EMTs, and some places they do have rules about having invisible tattoos.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose out on an opportunity to work for amazing places and do amazing things just because, like I said, I wanted to have Homer on my forearm or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
So that's always been my kind of thing.
Interesting question, and I would understand if you don't know the answer to it, but if you are from a background like I immediately thought of like Maori. Like Maori,
Ooh, yeah.
Cultural tattoos is a big thing,
Yes.
but they're often very visible. Is that sort of thing more permitted? Or is it just a blanket policy?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It always comes down to the department.
Right.
So, for example, I was just talking to my union about this for the park ranger job not terribly long ago. Hair. Mm-hmm. They had rules about how long your beard could be or how long your hair could be.
Okay.
Granted, if I went in the private sector, a lot of them don't care because
Right.
they're like, you're just here to do a job. We don't care really that you have long hair.
Right.
And it's also a cultural thing too. When I was in Maui, all firefighters had Maui tattoos and like all covered up and down their arms, and that was okay because it's a cultural thing.
Right.
Here in Oregon, some departments don't prefer that stuff, and they'll even make you wear tattoo sleeves to cover them up, the kind of flesh-colored things.
Yeah.
For both like fire, police, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Could you make the argument that it's your cultural right to have it? Yeah, and I imagine a lot of them would be okay with it.
Right.
But for me, I don't want to create the discussion or argument if I don't have have to.
Exactly.
For me, it's never been like, I have to have this tattoo. It's my identity. It's who I am.
Yeah.
For me, I like to represent who I am and what I've done with my life.
Right.
So that way, as morbid as it may be, if you open up my casket, you can look and go, oh, he was this and he did that. Like, oh, that's cool.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. One of the ideas, right now I have a Maltese cross, which is the firefighting symbol on my back. I want to get my park ranger badge tattooed on me.
Yeah.
I've worked with a law enforcement agency locally. I would want to check with the chief first to make sure it's okay. But I'd like to get that tattooed on me too.
Sweet.
As well as I did water rescue for a group. I'd like to get their emblem on me as well. Just so that way I can represent who I am, what I've done with my life, and kind of what I stand for.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah. So it's been...
All my dream tattoos is just straight up nerd shit.
Oh, trust me, there's a long list of that too. Yeah, I want to get a... this one will be a little hard to pull off. I want to get an incubus tattooed on my calf.
Okay.
Just because I think they're kind of cool.
Totally.
And it's an incubus. Oop, no other reason needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of that kind of stuff too. Oh, my buddy. Oh, he has the best. He has Deadpool fighting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tattoo. It's such a great one. I love it. He has some great ones. He has a sleeve of like skulls and skeletons, and on the other side he's gonna do angels and whatnot. Amongst all the skulls on his forearm, he has a Jack Skellington skull on his forearm, just in the middle of it. It looks fantastic. I love it.
That's so cool.
And I've thought about like, oh, you know, it'd be cool to have like a Jack Skellington or some Tim Burton stuff on my arm or body in general.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. I'd probably get a Cloud Strife tattoo.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, he's that character, man. Him
I
and
know.
Vincent Valentine were big when I was a kid. They were huge models in my eyes.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm doing the wings and I'm really loving it.
Nice. That lighter shade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to contrast a little bit because I feel like the scales would be a lot lighter. It's not actual bone, but cartilage in between. So
Right.
I just kind of want that to be a point.
That's a really good idea. And also you can do things like you can dry brush the whole thing with the same overall highlight color, and then that will like bring it a little bit closer together, but you'll still have the distinct sense that the wings are made of different stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what I want to do with these eyes.
Yeah, I'm not sure on this guy either. Anybody have ideas for eye colors for us?
Do you have an idea?
So you can make puns when I get kicked off because I make a few.
See, I get physically ill when I do it, though.
I feel like there's a small part of me that grows. like I gained a few more minutes of life because I did that.
Maybe I go for... Color really got purple and yellow that are pretty
I have
opposite.
I have all the base ones that you would get in the base kit. I don't know if you're interested in. Oh, I
Yeah, I'm trying to think what color I want it to be.
dig into my box of goodies. I have this leather color that might be interesting.
For the eyes?
Oh, not for the eyes.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Oh, that's it.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, that's a good yellow.
Yeah, this is what we're going for.
I don't think Ancient Mummy is too light on that one. So that is a very like I'm trying to think of what owl that looks like. There's so many subspecies of owls.
There really are.
But yeah, that is a very iconic owl eye yellow.
All right, so I'm gonna leave that up on my phone. And so we have the outline.
I still have the brew pellets.
The brew pellets? What?
So I think Nolan gave me these if I remember correctly.
Okay.
They're like, I'm supposed to add them to beer. if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But the problem is, like, the only time I ever drink is when I'm at D&D with you all. I don't drink that often. So I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. These are still in here. I gotta do it. Sorry. No.
So what are brute pellets?
I would not be the one to ask on it. I was asked, oh, do you want to try these? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll see what happens with them. And they've sat in a box with D&D stuff for a while now.
Fantastic.
Did you find a good yellow for yourself?
I did.
Okay, I found this yellow sunset one, if you were curious. I'll just put all my stuff over here.
Parfait.
If it interests you.
Okay.
Any other tabletop games you play or are interested in?
I will be the first to admit I have tried very few of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have not found anything that I enjoy as much as D&D. There's a lot of conversation in the tabletop space right now, specifically about how like D&D is so big that it sometimes makes it hard for other games to find an audience or succeed, because people are just like, well, why not just play D&D? And they're like, because other games do other things so much better. And I'm willing to believe that, but if what I want is heroic fantasy adventure with opportunity for role play and, you know, like D&D just is the game that I want, you know?
Well, and it's so iconic, and there's so many things built and based around it, like minis, paints, books, all sorts of stuff.
Right.
It's kind of hard to compete when they have such a huge grasp on the industry, essentially.
Exactly.
I will say I think it's like Starfinder or something like that. I'm really sorry to my DM who ran it. I don't remember the name of it. He brought out a sci-fi tabletop game.
Probably Starfinder.
I think
Hey, Bridget's back. Oh,
Bridget.
Bridget's here. Hop pellets, mandarins, Bavaria.
That's what I think it is.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
I think you put it in beer,
Okay.
and it increases the taste.
Cool.
Bridget helped me on floundering on that. Not really sure what it is or what it does. Once again, somehow I only drink when I'm with you, Garrett. What are you doing to me?
It's me.
I knew it.
I have that influence on
I
people.
appreciate it. Cheers to you on that.
Absolutely. I'm out,
you're
but
out.
I should go get another one. Although we are probably going to wrap up pretty soon. I figured I'd let you finish those wings.
Oh no, you're waiting on me?
I mean, if you
We're-
want, we can just...
We'll be here all night if that's the case.
I'm
having a great time. Having a great beer, chatting with some buds, painting some dragons, talking nerd stuff.
Ooh. Oh, this is so... Really need to get those, like, magnifying glass bottles. Or whatever. Bottles. You know, the headset that's got, like, the magnifying glass?
Oh, those are... I would actually really like those too. I think that's the antithesis of like when you know you're a D&D nerd, when you're like, oh my god, zooming glasses, that'd be perfect for painting minis.
Right.
You're like, yep, I'm a D&D nerd.
I've fallen so deep.
Well, the job I just left, it was really nice because when it was slow, I would paint minis at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I would solder like circuit boards and wires, so I had one of those like lights with the zoom in like glass in the middle.
Yeah.
So I would just whoop, drop it down, and I would paint as I'm doing it. It was great. I was getting paid to paint minis. It was a dream come true.
That's fantastic.
But it was just not working out in the long term. Considering I was pretty sure I was going to be out of the job in a month.
And sometimes it doesn't, you know?
Yeah. That's all right. I found something else. I'm happy. I'll be starting in 2 weeks as I take a little vacation for myself.
So Bridget's saying hops go into boil and add bitterness and aroma / flavor. Leaves are processed into pellets for better preservation.
That's what it does. Thank you, Bridget. Saved me.
So it's used in brewing?
Wait. I thought, can you just put it in? My understanding is I could just take a beer, put it in, and boom, there it is.
A hoppier beer?
Yeah, which I like hoppy beers. We're allowed to say like brewery company names, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Deschutes, I love Deschutes stuff. Theirs are really good.
Oh, I've achieved maximum focus.
Oh man,
That came out pretty good.
expert, amateur, right here. This guy's, you're killing it, Garrett. It looks amazing, man.
I like that a lot.
That can't. Oh. The eyes pop out so much.
Yeah, I wish I could zoom in a little bit more, but they have tiny glint. Just
Oh,
a
yeah.
tiny little glint,
Oh
right?
yeah. There's just like the little bling in the eye. That came out great.
This is awesome. I love owlbears too because they're like you don't want to fuck with them. Like if you're a low, I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, at a certain point, everything just gets nuked.
Yeah, Iron Belly Mountain team, no problem. But like, what the campaign that I was running with my kids was a prefab, and and they infiltrated this hideout, and they went through like this door and that door and everything, and they were moving from place to place. And then my daughter's like, so they get into a fight with a bunch of goblin guards, and the goblin guards are fighting, and then my daughter is like, I'm gonna turn around and go the other direction. And I'm like, where are you going? And she's like, I just want to see what else is here. And I'm like, but you're in the middle of a fight, right? She's like, well, yeah, but I want to see if there's like anything that could help. And I'm like, okay. And she walks to the other end of the hallway and she's like, is there a door? And I look at the map and I'm like,
Oh no.
yep, there is a
Yeah.
door. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna open it. There was an owlbear. They were level 3.
I had something like that happen a couple weeks ago in my Curse of Strahd game, so I know exactly how you feel.
It did not end well. I forget if they survived that. I forget how that resolved.
I had they're in the death house of Curse of Strahd, and they were going floor by floor, very systematically, very, very well done. And then one of them's like, oh, I'm going to go up to the next floor and start looking around. He comes across a suit of armor, just on a stand, onyx, just sitting there, and he's like, oh, cool. I want to inspect the armor.
Oh, no.
With everybody on the first floor.
Oh no.
Oh, you mean the animated armor that just starts swinging at you?
Oh dear.
And they were level 1 at this point.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
And it's an animated armor, so, quite difficult to deal with in general.
full party of level 1s, sure. One guy?
Yeah.
Oh no.
An artificer, too.
Oh no.
So, artificers I love. Freaking Valeri's an amazing artificer. It's incredible.
Well, he's got one level of artificer.
Yeah, but
But-
it's he's mostly fire. That's
Right.
true. But it's like when you
Still,
are
yeah.
a level 1 artificer, your options are very limited.
Right.
You don't have.
What's their hit die? It's a D8.
I think if I remember correctly, it's a D8. So,
You got 8 hit points.
and it's I think 2d6 is the animated armor's
Yeah.
damage. So, Curse of Strahd, it's a tough book.
It's a tough book.
I've already kind of started nerfing it a little bit because I was like, you know what? If I'm TPKing by level 3, it's not gonna be fun for them.
No.
It's not gonna be fun for anybody. So I'm gonna start twisting some stuff here and there. But it is quite fun because when they got done with the death house, they went into an inn, and Strahd showed up to say hi.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Is that in the book or was that you?
that was me.
Ah!
You have what I like about the Curse of Strahd book is you do have that availability to go a little rogue and kind of play it out a little bit.
Hell yeah.
I didn't go in there and start swinging a sword, killing everybody.
He literally came to say hi.
Yeah, and that's the thing is in the book, spoilers for anybody playing the book. It says as soon as they complete the death house, Strahd knows they completed it.
Yeah.
So I just rolled up as Strahd. I was like, hello everyone. It's good to see you. Sorry, we're reading chat.
You can do that with the pellets. It's just hard to drink without filtering. This has been Nolan talking, by the way.
Oh,
I wasn't really sure what you'd do with them, Lucas. They just smell good. Diffuse them in warm water for a nice aromatic, maybe?
Ooh, I will do that. Thank you, Nolan, for re-explaining it to me, because I know you explained it to me, but we were also playing D&D, and I lost track. But yeah, so I showed up in the bar as Strahd. I was like, oh, hello, everyone. And Strahd knew the characters' names. He went around the table one by one, like, it's good to see you. I hear you're a fine craftsmanship from Ravnica to the Artificer. And
Yeah.
It was quite fun for me to kind of put them all on edge. I'll do a little spoiler. I'll have them roll for nothing. Be like,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll a d12 and a d4 for me. See what happens.
Why those two?
Just roll.
Just roll them.
Yeah, and in the
Why
book,
those two?
and in the book it says, they roll this and this happens, and I'm really good about it too, because be like, okay, hang on one sec, I'll go to my box, I'll grab minis, I'll set them up, I'll put the mat out, and be like, cool, get all that set up, and then explain something to them, and then never use it.
Yeah.
Just keep going. And they'll just keep looking at the mat like, what's happening? What are we doing here? It's like, oh, nothing.
I love those mind games.
You should try early edition. Yes, I have seen the earlier editions of Strahd, especially I think 3.5 and for the very first one. Very beautifully written. I think that's why it has hung around for so long, is because it is such a fantastic book.
Yeah.
So, definitely agree with that 100%, Nolan.
Just wrapping up the rim job here, and
I like it. I like it a lot. Well, the underwing still needs some work, but
there's a lot on
It is a
big
lot.
minis like that. Just doing the base coats is like, holy shit.
yeah, I got a big one for that reason. I wanted to, my hope is you'll let me back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like that, and I can just keep poking away at the same big mini, and as I learn how to do it, the audience can see how crappy I am at it. But nonetheless, we can kind of see it all play out together, and maybe you'll hear the story of when I use this.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I gave Angus a little sneak peek. I didn't want to tell the audience because I'm afraid of who's in the audience. I don't want you to know everything.
I do definitely look forward to creating minis on here, and then being able to tell the story of them being used later, or and it's going to be harder for monsters and stuff like that, because Jesse can't exactly be like, hey Garrett, can you paint me a black dragon this week on Crafternoon?
No.
But
We're not doing it.
just this owlbear. I will probably be able to use this, and that can be a story.
Well, and I think that's what I really like about our group is, as all of us paint our minis, they're available to each other.
Right.
So, as we get more comfortable and more aware of what each other have, I could just bring my bag of minis and be like, Jesse, here you go. Pick whatever you want.
Exactly.
So,
That's a done owlbear.
that is a done owlbear. And I might be at a decent stopping point for the dragon here.
So I painted the base is done in sort of like a textured dark brown paint, and then I painted a very sort of medium brown for the rock it's standing on, and then I dry brushed both of those with bone. Let me actually try and show the base a little bit more. Whoops, that way. And then I just went ahead and painted the edge green because I didn't know what else to paint it that wouldn't kind of just vanish into the tabletop. And so that's just a nice little rim that'll make it stand out a bit more when it's on the game mat.
Looks great.
This is ready for more work, but that's going to have to wait for next time. And there's the big boy. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love that base coat for the body and the wings. It's coming out quite nice.
yeah, we got some big old minis. Oh, man, they look so good.
Oh,
They look so good.
the horn looks really good too. I'll be really glad when I finish that one off too.
Yeah, totally.
And especially once I finish up the mouth, that'll just keep it all together.
So cool.
Oh.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for us tonight. We are going to head off. Thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out. It was good to meet some new people, get some new follows. Thank you to Doghouse Minis, specifically, who came and followed the stream. We will be back next Tuesday, and then, God, Angus, when are we thinking is the first campaign 0
I mean,
or game 0 for the campaign?
we can't quite be positive, but I think the idea is about 12 days from now.
12 days. The 16th that's the idea. Not a promise yet, but we're getting closer and closer to promised territory.
Super excited.
If anybody has any extra time, I really could use some whip cracking on getting the dungeon tiles done. And actually, I'm going to be at a point pretty soon where I could actually use another person's hand. So just passing that through the group. But regardless, thanks for coming and hanging out. This has been Crafternoon, and we will see you next Tuesday for sure with another show. Bye.
See ya.